Open the.
You are live. It's alive. Greetings, everybody. Live from London and Israel. This is.
Hello.
Yeah, and me, Matilda and me.
The camera's more close. Okay.
Okay, so
that looks like a mess.
my hair always looks like a mess. I don't care. My face looks like a mess. You just have to live with it. It's been a mess. It's been a mess for 50 years. So I'm not going to do anything about it now.
Simon did a live.
Oh, has he put it? We're online, has he? I can't see how many people are watching or anything like that on this here. What do you call it? I thought you could check that, but we won't worry about it. Oh yeah, I can see it now. It says 3 people are watching. Don't know how long I'll last because I've been battling to keep my eyes open the last couple of hours. Yeah.
All right, so I'll get started then. Maybe.
Yeah. So you got your. So you go.
Or who goes first?
Ladies first. Ladies first.
All right, just a second. I'll give us some more watch time.
Oh yeah, no worries. So we're just going to do the draw, everybody. We've got two things to draw. Hello, Cinemation. So I've got a contest to get.
Yeah. Well, we should have worn masks.
Oh, yeah. I think we're okay online. I think you're okay there.
You never know. There's these online viruses or whatever.
Hi, Roger. Yeah, online.
Hi,
different kind of virus.
I'm waving like a moron.
Well, he can see you, can't he? He's watching the video, so it works. We're both waving at the same time. Let's wave to everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
I should have worn an Israel shirt. I don't have one.
What does it say? American
Eagle.
American Eagle. Mine's from a. I've been meaning to actually mention this. I've been wearing it for a couple of days now. It's from a record label called Spine Farm Records, and it's all about drinking and puking and drinking. That's basically what it says, and then death at the end is what it says at the bottom there. So, yeah.
Right. So great hangover T-shirt.
Yeah, definitely. A queen always waves at her peasants, Matilda. So you must remember to wave at your peasants. Do you want to go first, then?
I can't. My peasants are still in the dungeon.
Well, you're a harsh ruler, yeah? You got your own personal torturer.
Yeah, I hired Etrigan.
Oh, cool. He'd do the job well.
I'm all shiny.
Right, so you want to do your contest drawing first?
Yes, all right. So let me show the prizes real quick again. So, like I said, I'll draw you something.
Yeah.
On a page, though, because I currently don't have any covers to use. And, of course, there will be comics. So first we have... Oh, wait, that's the second one. There we go.
Oh, I remember you enjoyed that one. Did you finish the whole series in the end?
1 second.
Oh, disappeared. Something's gone terribly wrong. I'm on my own. Okay, so Matilda's doing a drawing for the Cheer Up Mr. Grey contest.
Sorry.
Oh, you're back.
My grandmas are passing here. You can't explain what a live stream is.
Right.
Then the second one, should I say? Well, you can't see his dick. Never mind.
You can see a vampire's dick in
there. Nope. Let's not get into that now.
Okay. You shouldn't have brought it up.
You know me. So this is a Vampire State Building. It's pretty good. It's probably going to get a TV show because it was written that way.
Right, yeah.
It's not a bad read. It's definitely more interesting than The Walking Dead.
Did that series finish in the end then?
I don't know. I only got these 2.
All right. You didn't bother with the rest of them?
You also get my favorite fictional man, Hellboy. As of course, the reader copy, you can remove this. It's not permanently stuck. If you don't like it, I prefer to protect them. All right, and before anything else appears, now I have to turn off the camera. Let's do the draw.
Right.
This is the tea box with all the names.
I just threw my names all over the floor by accident. I'm just going to pick them up while you do the draw.
Okay. All right, I'm trying not to look. Actually, now let's shake it again. All right. I'm trying not to look. Come on. Fingers. Okay, I got one. I got one.
Right, cool.
And our winner is. Wait. Metarog.
Oh.
Our winner is Mr. Metarog.
Why am I not surprised? He always wins.
Mr. Metarog, this stuff will be going to you. And
Cool.
let me know on Instagram what you want me to draw. Oh, and there's Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, that's Cthulhu. That's the latest drawing of Cthulhu Matilda's done. Very cool he is too.
Now his eyes look scary. When the camera quality is shit.
No, he looks pretty decent. When you see the picture you based him from, it made more sense. Like when he's sort of looming over in the mist, isn't he? So you can't see his body properly because he's sort of like leaning forwards. So he's like his body is in the background behind the mist kind of thing. Okay, so my contest.
Let's attempt to look better.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool. And so my contest is like Matilda. First of all, my contest was for me to get to 1,500 subs and you to get to 500 subs, and you got to 500 subs. But what are you on now?
And then went down.
Is it still down? Is it still below 500?
Yeah, it is.
Oh well, never mind. We're doing the draw anyway.
Yeah.
You was at 5.
Never mind. I was at 500.
You was at 500 for one day. That counts. And I want an Adam Warlock. Roger's saying he wants you to draw Adam Warlock for him.
I will get on an Adam Warlock.
What you should do is cheat and do the first appearance of Adam Warlock when he's just in a pod. He's like in a little brown pod, and just draw a brown pod. It looks like a bowel movement. And
then on top, all right, will appear in the next page.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll keep watching this space to see what emerges. Right, so my contest, right, so this is for the Matilda part of the contest. So basically, all you have to do is tag me or Matilda in your video, tell people to come and sub us up, and a few people have done that. My one's still going to go on until I get to 1,500 subs.
No Cocoon Warlock.
No Cocoon Warlock, please, yeah. Oh, that's
actually sounds interesting. A Cocoon Warlock.
Yeah. Right, so let me just write. So I've got, these are the people who have entered Matilda's part of the contest. Justin Fireborn XTG 5000. I think he kind of does horror movie stuff, but he shouted out your channel as well to get some people over to you, hopefully. Classic Comic Collector did a video. I'm not sure if he's interested in the prizes, though. If he wins, I'll ask him. Mark Knapp 68, he's in there. Alex Big Blue. And the prize is, 12 comics. I've got loads of doubles. So we'll talk about what comics you want out of the doubles I've got, and I'll send them to M3 Lions. I'm not sure if I think he said that he's going to do it. He didn't really necessarily need to be in the draw, but he's in the draw now. If he wins, we'll work it out from there. Probably Roger's going to win again anyway. Right. Comic Magmusings. He's in there as well. Cup of Comics, he did an entry for it. Cup of Comics, Slim Comics, and more. He's in there. Metaroj, something like that. Night Tiger did an entry as well. Apparently, I forgot. Spirit Comics, he's in there. Did I say Simple Simon yet? And Comico. Sure. Hold on. Let me just double check.
Don't worry, Simon. I'll send you a goth babe in booty shorts.
Why is Simple Simon did 2 lots? I'm sure I don't remember saying him.
There is actually a comic called The Killer Condom if you're interested.
That's an interesting one. Right, so how comes I've not managed to? I need to just check my list again because Simple Simon's not on there. Right, I've got more written here.
Piece of paper.
I've got some with me still. So the Slim Cut. Right, so just make sure I've done them all right. I seem to have skipped Simple Simon. Lucky he's here to remember. Simple Simon. Spirit, Meteoroid, Night Tiger. Yeah, okay.
We missed one.
I missed one, and he actually did two entries. He did it twice, so that would be pretty cruel not to put him in there, wouldn't it? Surprised I actually realised.
Some legs.
Right, so let's bang them all into the pot of destiny. Shake it up. Shake, rattle, and roll. Yeah, the beer glass. We're better off with beer in it, but there you go. Maybe I'll have a beer later.
You have beer and I, the Israeli, have tea. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I have tea sometimes. Right, this one. This is the one. This is the one. Alex Big Blue. Alex Big Blue is the winner of my contest.
Not Matarog.
Yeah, I know. Metarog's going to demand a recount. He's going to say, no, it can't be right. I always win. How can it not be me?
Imagine Mr. Matarog would have won twice.
I know. If he'd won twice, he would tell us to put it back in. You have to draw legs only for him, and he's a happy boy. I think they're talking about your Cthulhu.
No, she's talking about Simon.
Well, you got to draw legs for Simon.
And he'll be happy.
Draw a pair of goth legs on that Cthulhu body that you did, and send that to him. Cthulhu head goth chick. Okay.
I've imagined. That's some rough porn.
Yeah, that would be different, I suppose.
That would be a bit. Where's Bob? We need Bob for this.
There's probably a market for that kind of thing, but yeah, I'm not in that market, I must say. Okay.
I'm gonna need to start a whole separate Instagram for that market.
There probably would be, yeah. But certainly a niche. If you can corner that niche market, you'll be in the money probably. All right. So if Alex Big Blue hears this, get in touch and I'll sort out some comics from my various doubles that I've got. And yeah, that's it really. You got anything else you want to show or talk about? Should we invite somebody else in if anyone wants to pop in and talk to us, or? Yeah,
let's invite someone in.
I'll put the link in case anyone wants to come and chat. If I can make sure the link is there.
Mr. Gray, do you want to have this one?
Yeah, I'll have that. Yeah, I'm always up for more.
My grandma doesn't want him in the house.
Does she not like it? Does she find him creepy?
Yeah.
I bet his eyes.
Draw these things.
Do his eyes follow you around the room?
Remember that demon not the creeper that I drew?
I can't remember. How long ago was that?
But anyway, I drew the creeper. She loves him.
Oh.
She took the creeper. I wanted to send it, I think, to you, and she said, no, this one's mine.
Looks like it's gone international. It's gone international. He's going to come in and tell me off for not putting him in the stream and in the drawer, probably. Hey, Sleepyhead.
What's going on?
Have you come on for us to sing you a lullaby?
I figured I'd just jump on to say good night because it's so big. Yeah, I've literally been just falling asleep in my chair for the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I knew you guys were going live, so I had to wait for it.
I keep falling asleep on
that's better.
My premieres. I keep falling asleep. My body clock's gone to a more reasonable time now, but so I keep missing my late night premieres. Grandpa is tired. I think is he frozen? That's how tired he is. His screen's frozen. I know he's back.
Yeah, my internet's gone all weird. Oh no! Am I working?
Yeah.
Simon looks like he has a bunk bed, like you, Mr. Gray.
You're a bit jittery. You got a bunk bed, did you say?
Nah, it just looks like that because of the green screen.
Oh, right. Is that what it is? Green screen. That's just thinking. That's too high tech, man. That's too high tech.
Oh, you should get one. I'll send you one.
There would be absolutely no point. There would be no point.
You could use it to make a tent.
Yeah, I'll make a little.
I know what that is. Then there we go.
Can you imagine how fun Grey Man would be with the green screen? How much fun he would have.
It's too much like hard work, mate. Too much like hard work. Just plop a camera down and talk to it. That's as much as I can manage.
I'm with you, Mr. Gray.
Yeah. He's frozen again. All this technology, he's got a green screen, and he can't even afford an internet that's going to stop, lagging.
I think his internet is sleepy as him.
I think so.
That's the problem.
He's
His
frozen.
internet is like, go to sleep.
He is frozen in a nice smiley picture, though.
Or turn it into a dress. Well, Mr. Gray, you can make a costume out of the green screen.
A grey screen.
Look like you're wearing a Blue Beetles costume.
Yeah, that might work. He's back, but I think he's frozen again. Yeah. What have you bought lately?
Like
you got any new comics again?
A Colgate commercial.
Yeah, I was going to say that when he was stuck in that like a cheesy grin that he was stuck on a minute ago. I think he looked like a bit like a toothpaste commercial.
Oh, I don't fit here. My teeth look terrible.
Yeah, well, I'm English. We have to have bad teeth. It's part of the tradition, apparently. If we have good teeth, the Americans don't know what to do with us. So, oh my God, it's a British guy with good teeth. What's going on?
Oh, they must hate Henry Cavill then.
Yeah, completely blow the stereotype.
Probably.
Yeah, having your teeth straightened hurts. I don't know why people bother with it. Silver Age Dave is here.
Hi, Mr. Dave.
He's in training for a 100-mile run. God, I couldn't even walk 100 yards to the shop. I'm that lazy, let alone do a 100-mile run.
Well, I could put a rocket on my wheelchair and then I'll win.
Yeah, you have to make sure you got safety gear on though, because it sounds dangerous.
I'll call Batsy. I'll ask him to make me some.
Yeah. Okay. You got any new comics lately? What have you read? What have you read lately? Anything interesting?
So far the Joker. Oh, hi, Alex. You're the winner of Mr. Gray's giveaway.
Mr. Draw, mate.
Hard for me. Now actually, wait a
package of comics, mate. If you get in touch and let me know what kind of thing you're into, and if I see if I've got any, and I'll send them in the post to you.
I'm reading this now, Mr. Gray, the second part of Mercy.
Okay.
It's getting a lot better here. The first issue was okay, but
yeah,
I took a peek at what the vampires are like. Ooh, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot.
Cool.
And then I actually want to read the one with the Joker fish. I love those fish.
Is that a new one, or is that the facsimile one? Yeah. I need to get to shop and buy. I haven't really got many facsimiles. I don't really go to the LCS at all. I never bother going to an LCS. I get most of my stuff on eBay. But I'll show you some of the stuff I've read today. I've been reading some Unexpected. I think these are ones that I got from Ranger Sly. Some Silver Age Dave 177 for me. quite. Some of these unexpected stories are quite silly. There's one in today when it's like a henpecked husband. His wife wanted him to change his brain. She made him have a brain transplant. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. If it's a brain transplant, his brain's going to be completely gone. He's going to be dead. It's the brain that goes into his body that's going to. It's like, I just thought that's a really strange idea for a story. And it turns out the brain that was transplanted into her husband's body happened to be a mental case serial killer kind of thing. And then she goes mad.
What you wish for.
Yeah.
Also, them chicks be crazy.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of nice old Captain Americas I've been reading.
You know, she couldn't just divorce him. She had to take the complicated route.
Yeah, very complicated. It was. But some of the stories they have to sort of set them up really kind of quickly, and they have to sort of cut corners in the storytelling kind of thing. And some of them are just daft as a brush, to be honest. Yeah, abnormal, completely abnormal brain. But then every now and again, there'll be one story which is like. It's like, oh, that's quite a good story. You know what I mean?
I love Mr. Gray, the Hoosier nerd. Yeah, he subscribed, so now I'm at 500.
Thank you. Wasn't up to your Hoosier nerd. Where you been hiding, mate? Oh, I can't believe you weren't subbed already to Matilda.
Simon, sleep well.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Talk to you soon.
That doesn't fuck up.
Yeah, wake your internet up as well, mate. That's what you need to do. I've been reading some Fantastic Four, and I've come to the conclusion that the Thing is possibly the stupidest superhero in the world. He's just so dumb.
Come on, Mr. Grey.
He is. He's so stupid. He's like simple things like, oh, he knows that Alicia Masters is actually a Skrull, and rather than going to the rest of the Fantastic Four and saying, oh, she's a Skrull, here's the proof, he decides to go and just start smashing up the headquarters, fighting with Johnny Torch, whatever his name is, Human Torch. And like, if he just explained, rather than like getting into a massive fight and like destroying the Fantastic Four headquarters yet again, he would have been. I suppose if they did that, there wouldn't be much of a story. But I don't know.
Come on, Mr. Grey, cut him some slack. Poor guy can't do any. He can't do any adult activities anymore. Come on.
No, it's true. Though he does. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. We shouldn't really. Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go.
I'm just saying, cut him some slack.
Yeah, it would be quite
I'm like
frustrating.
Diamond Girl. I'm all shiny. Ugh. That's why I
Diamond
don't
Girl.
show my face. Yeah, I'm all shiny.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about what's that? Emma Frost. She turns into Diamond, doesn't she?
I wish I
No.
looked like Emma Frost.
Oh dear. He needs some cream. Who needs some cream? You're talking
I
about
don't think cream's gonna help her in this case.
some moisturizer. The Rock needs some moisturizer. Yeah, probably
I
right.
don't think you can moisturize that, to be honest with you.
Since I've started,
It makes me wonder, is it even still there? Because if it's not there, why does he need pants?
yeah, yeah. Is the thing actually a thing? Is the question today? You know, everybody's asking.
I mean, if it's not there, why pants?
Yeah, this is
like,
true.
I get why the Hulk.
Yeah.
By the way, I thought about it. Instead of the bat wing, they should have made the Hulk wing. Think about it.
Maybe that's coming out.
Something.
Yeah.
That would have been something to get excited about. That would have been like, ooh.
Them purple trousers that he wear are the strongest trousers in existence. They stretch like all around just around the waist area and the crotch area. Luckily, they're like the strongest material in existence, just in those places.
Right? Like, does he wear a couple of sizes bigger with the belt? How did they not just get the shirt?
Why did he not invest in some unstable molecule clothing? He could have just gone to the Fantastic Four and said, "Can I have some unstable molecule clothing that you are always wearing?"
Ben Grimm should give him his pants.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
He actually needs them. He actually needs them.
Joe's asking what time we've got here. Is the Thing missing the stalactite and boulders? Why the need for pants? A sorrowful reminder of his past glory. Can he? Yeah, it's an interesting question. There's too many questions that things like Superman and Lois getting it on. It's just like, oh, it's so dangerous. Just don't go there. It's like
change it every time because I watched a cartoon. There, they couldn't have children. He told her. But then there's this movie from the 2000s where they do have a kid. She has a son from him, so
yeah, they do change things up a bit. But I just think, I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into
the bollocks on this stream.
You like what?
Not a question with bollocks.
There's a lot of true. A lot of balls going on. Joe wants to know what time it is where we are.
No. Over easy mode. No spandex for good old Bruce. No need. No, leave that for the imagination, please.
Yeah. So I'm at 3:30 anyway, or 3:25. You're you're an hour or 2 hours ahead of me.
5:30 almost here.
Yeah, 2 hours ahead of me. Fair enough.
Oh, Mr. Grey, thanks to you, I had a revelation today.
Oh yeah, what was that?
All the time I've been watching Lady Fantastic. I thought that her, little logo was Leo, the Ninja Turtle. And today, when you showed it on your video, I was like, it's a garden statue.
I didn't even know. I didn't even look at it. I didn't know what it was. But I put the link in again in case anyone wants to join us. But I think I've shown all the comics I've got to show now.
That's cruel over easy mode.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
How did he end up with superpowers?
Who, Batman?
No, the kid. I don't know who was in the early Superman movie. It wasn't Henry Cavill, right?
Yeah, no, Brandon Routh, wasn't it? Was it Brandon Routh? Something like that? The guy who now plays Atom in the TV series?
It was someone else, I think. It wasn't Henry Cavill.
No. So I think his name was Brandon Routh or something like that.
Yeah, so that was the movie because there they had a kid.
Yeah, because he supposed to have come back after being away for a long time, wasn't he? And
I don't even remember much of that movie. I just remember the kid pushed the piano with the bad guys.
Right.
That's like your hint that he's Superman's baby.
Hey, Fiver's here.
Oh, San is in the middle of us. It's 4 o'clock for her.
Oh, right, yeah. She must be like, just one latitude over or whatever it is. Or is it longitude over? I'm not sure. One of them, probably. I don't know how it works. Is it every different point of longitude or something like that? I've really got no idea. Probably not. I've no idea. So, but all I know is that time starts here in the UK, in London in particular. It goes through Greenwich, and all time flows from Greenwich. That's why it's called Greenwich Mean Time, because it all starts right here, smack bang in the middle of London, just down the road from where I am. So, but you haven't got to thank us for all the time that we give you. Don't worry about it. It's on us. Do you want me to tell you the address, etc. on IG? No, tell it here in front of everybody. Yeah, IG will be fine. You can let me know what kind of, because I've got like 3 boxes of like doubles to give you an idea what sort of stuff you're after, and I'll have a look through and see if I've got anything like that, basically. But I'm trying to put some mystery boxes together at the moment as well. Check out my grey boxes, everybody, especially if you're in the UK or somewhere near the UK where postage isn't too expensive. Yeah.
I thought it was Leo. That was so funny.
Sorry?
No, I thought Miss Lady Fantastic's YouTube logo was Leo.
I thought it was a turtle.
Yeah, I thought it was a Ninja Turtle for all this time.
Apparently, there's a comet. Fiver's Revenge saying, "Can you see the comet over there?" Well, I wouldn't be able to see it in the daytime, I don't suppose. But is there a comet going on around at the moment?
Is there a comet?
Apparently. Grey Man is the Sandman. Grey Man is the Sandman. What, Sandman wrestler? Or Sandman Mystery Theater?
You need to dye your hair black, Mr. Grey.
I don't know what he means by Grey Man is the Sandman. Mr. Sandman, send me a dream. Bum, 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 bum.
I think of a few Sandmans.
All right, yeah. Alex likes pretty much any Marvel and DC. Okay, cool. But just so I don't, what I'll do, I'll get a few together and let you know what I've got, and you can tell me if you've already got it, because I don't want to send you any doubles. It would be absolutely pointless me putting a mystery box together and they get to you and it all turns out to be doubles. That would be a pain in the proverbial. So this comet, is it one of those comets going to make everyone go blind and then the Triffids are going to come out? Is it one of those kind of comets, or it's not going to smash into the Earth and create an Earth-shattering kaboom or nothing like that? I hope.
Well, it might not be all that bad. I mean, if we had some dinosaurs, we could have been like the Spectre, riding flaming dinosaurs.
That's a good cover, though, isn't it? Perfect. That is a good cover. Any cover with dinosaurs, and particularly people riding on the backs of dinosaurs, they're always cool to check out.
I want to draw the Spectre.
Go for it. It's got quite simple kind of look, I suppose, just green and white.
Trust me, it's not.
No, the look is quite easy. I mean, it's got like green and white. You haven't got like lots of different.
But then you start and it's really fucking hard.
But it can't be as hard as that spawn that you did the other day.
Yeah, still, everything you draw the first time is really hard to do.
Yeah, but it's like when he made Spawn, it was like, oh, how can I make this absolutely as difficult as possible? I'm going to put loads of chains in there. I'm going to put loads of spikes in there. It's like so much stuff.
That shield thing too.
I don't remember a shield. Has he?
I don't know. He has something here that's like a shield.
Okay. Fiverr saying it's not the kind of comet that gives you superpowers. I was wondering about that. I wouldn't mind some superpowers. Salamation says you can't even draw 2 eyes. But I bet you draw one eye really well. I'm assuming he's got to draw one eye and then draw another one eye next to it, and you're sorted. Most comic characters are simple looks. That's why the spandex is popular. It's easy to draw.
It's only good in drawings. In real life, don't wear spandex.
No. There's a lot of 80s metal bands that used to wear spandex and it doesn't look good.
No. I don't care who you are. It doesn't look good.
Yeah. I've never considered wearing spandex. I don't forgot the figure for it somehow.
Even those who have the figure for it, don't wear it.
Right.
That's too much information.
Yeah. There can be bulges in strange places that you don't want to be. You don't need to know about. So I've still got my half of the contest is still going, by the way, people. So don't forget, my contest is still going up till I get to 1,500. Just shout me out on one of your videos and leave a link to my channel. Tell your friends to come and sub me out. And when I get to 1,500, I'll do another draw, and there'll be another winner to get some more comics. So
96.
Oh, someone from is it Motley Crue? Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue? Nah, Glam does not look good. Glam is the enemy. Ooh, down with Glam.
No, I no need to. I like you enough as it is. No need for the spandex.
Joe's going to send you some pictures on IG of him in spandex, by the sounds of it. So yeah, fair enough.
I think I'd rather watch Freddy Krueger have sex.
Well, I suppose that's an option. If anyone's got any pictures of Freddy Krueger having sex, please send them to Matilda. I don't know why she wants them, but takes all sorts.
I mean, some people are into Jabba the Hutt.
Are they? Interesting.
I'm assuming.
There's hope for me yet. Motley Crue indeed. Vince Neil sounds like a screaming cat, though. Yeah, I can't be doing with the bands, the 80s bands where you can't tell if they're men or women in the band. Those I can't be angry with them. Can't be dealing with them. That's true. Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Running Man.
Sound like Yoko Ono when she sings.
Oh, I
heard
don't know.
that once. My eardrums almost bleeded. How is that singing? Is that singing even?
I don't know.
She yells. I can yell, but I can only yell for a minute. Then my voice dies.
Yeah.
Microphone. Yeah. I'm a man.
Have you checked out my singing on one of my videos?
Now you actually sing, Mr. Grey. She yells.
Yeah, no, I didn't sing. I just kind of growled with deep voice. Just like today's female pop stars, you can't tell if they are male or female. Oh, talking of this, right? This is completely something that's been not exactly bugging me, but since I've been monetized.
No, don't wave scissors when you're monetized.
Is that going to be against the rules? Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Right.
You never know with YouTube.
I've started looking at adverts because adverts are coming up now on stuff. I keep seeing adverts for male grooming products. Apparently, it's the thing now for men to groom themselves down below. When was this? When did this become a thing? Does anyone? I never got the notification about this. That this is a thing now. It's just and I just see untold adverts about this thing called the lawnmower or something. It's like a male grooming and it's talking about it won't snag your balls and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the hell? Men started shaving. I just can't. Bleaching your anus was a hype 10 years ago. Yeah, I've heard about that one. Now I growled like
I actually saw that being done. I don't get it.
Oh, but I was just shocked. I mean, I know it's it became a thing in the 90s for women to shave, but whatever. But now fashion has decreed that men have got to be all shaved everywhere now as well. Apparently, it's just well, blimey, hair is natural in human beings. So why should everybody be bald as a bloody, prepubescent bloody whatever? It's just I don't get it. That's only for on film, apparently. Freddy Krueger wouldn't need one. Is that because his skin's been burnt off? of it. Yeah, no, over easy. I don't growl like Johnny Rotten. I have a death metal band, or I had a death metal band. So if you want to hear me growling death metal vocals, check out one of my videos. Yeah, now the men also have to be baby skin and oily down there. Yeah, I did not get that notification. I did not. That's like I didn't realize that was a thing. Now I know that fashion.
Trust me, Joe. You don't want to hear me sing. It sounds like it's inside a blender.
What are you talking about? I thought we was going to finish off with a duet.
No,
I thought that was the plan, wasn't it? Me and you was going to finish with a duet. Oh, Matilda, you're letting me down.
I can play an instrument. I don't have one, but I'll create one.
Yeah, this is the point Genome's got to say here. Grey, BO is natural among humans. Doesn't mean I want to smell it. This is true, but also I don't think most of that is like down to the fact that people are trying to sell you products. All this stuff about you've got to moisturize now for men. You've got to bloody well shave your balls now. Apparently, it's just about selling products is what it's all about. But anyway, that was a bit of an eye opener. I was like, I thought it was a joke advert when I saw it first of all. I thought this is a joke advert. It's like a spoof advert.
Some black metal. I can't even sing a simple song.
Some black metal, Matilda. Come on. Yeah. But the thing is,
I need Mr. Grey to train me for that.
Some black metal, yeah. That's harsh on the old vocals. That is. But my vocals are no good anyway. I just hurt my throat. Anyway, so we talked about shaving balls. We talked about comics. We talked about.
You knew this would happen, Mr. Grey. Live streaming with me, you eventually reached the bollocks.
Yeah, there won't be a single hair on our bodies next. I don't know what's going on. Lucky I haven't got to worry about fashion. I never have worried about fashion. Some anti-flu. I'm not sure what that means.
Is that
some anti-flu
for your
I don't know. Probably. Oh dear.
Rub some anti-flu and your anus will look as good as new.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Right.
Just don't. If you did, I'm not gonna say this. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. In fact.
Hi, Tat. Look, Tat is here.
Hey, Tats Comics, how you doing, mate? You missed the draw. You missed the draw.
By the way, what time is it in America? I wonder.
Depends what part you're in. The bloody place is so big. They've got about 4 or 5 different time zones, in they? That's greedy. That is having like 4 or 5 different time zones.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was a one time zone.
No, they got mountain time and slightly left of the mountain time, central time, upper time, lower time, hammer time. Hammer time is my favorite time zone in America. Apparently, it's MC Hammer invented that one. Wouldn't it chafe when you get stubbly? I'm sure it would.
Anti-flu, it's candy for your throat.
Okay, could be fresh for your anus. Depends on what you're into. Yeah?
I suppose so. Or you can try putting it in there and see what happens.
What was that? I used some bloody body cleaning stuff a few years ago, like Minty Fresh or something. And it was like, whoa, that stings a bit. It was like, whoa, that feels really weird. It was like
Yankees in your time zones.
It was zingy. It was zingy down below is what it was. It was well, it's 8:38 in the mountains, 10:38 a.m. wherever over your easy mode is. A fresh fart to start the day. And it's 9:40 a.m. in Hoosierville. Hoosier lives in Indiana. He lives in Indiana, I believe. Hoosier is like the nickname for people from Indiana, apparently. So I think I've remembered that correctly. Overeas is in New York. But yeah, they've got about 20 time zones. And I think Russia's got about 60 time zones, something like that. It's just crazy. It's greedy. I mean, we invented time here, obviously, in the UK at Greenwich. And like we just settled for one. We were sensible. We were like, we're gonna have one time zone. You know, what's the point?
Yeah, one too.
Yeah. It's like,
but then again, we're this tiny, so
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, same here. Same here. We're only a little tiny island. Tiny island.
Hoosier nerd.
Hoosier, yeah. That's the nickname for people from Indiana, apparently. Hoosiers.
I wonder where it's from.
Yeah, I looked that up, and I think they said that it was disputed as to what actually Hoosier originated from. But it's like I'm like from East London, so I'm a Cockney. I'm counted as a Cockney. I have no idea where that phrase Cockney comes from. I'm not too sure where that was invented. We in the Netherlands were high, so we went on an hour forward. But in different places, they've got different daylight savings, haven't they? People do it at different times, and some people don't have it. I think some people don't even have it at all, so it's all very confusing. South Dakota's got 2 time zones. Go Buckeyes! That must be some kind of football team. Some kind of that American football to me is like 2 bunches of guys facing off against each other and then cuddling each other as hard and fast as they can. I think that's the object of American football.
So
it is really cute. They just run, they just stand in a big wall facing each other. And they say, they greet each other like long lost friends, roll around on the floor. It's a very endearing sport when you think about it.
Yeah, and then they fight for a little pig.
Yeah, fighting over a giant pig testicle. Apparently there's more when you count Alaska and Hawaii.
Not even how pig testicles look.
No, it's just made out of pig skin. I was just being foolish, as usual. I'm going to put the link in again in case anyone wants to join us. Anyone wants to join us and show some comics or talk some nonsense with us. Explain to us all about your lovely time zones and your sport of enthusiastic cuddling.
No more time zones, please.
Yeah, well, you can talk about the enthusiastic cuddling sport. Is there a national sport in Israel? You've got your own sport that we don't see in other countries, or got anything like that there?
I don't think we do. Then, to be honest, I'm not into sports. So I have no idea.
No,
I know we have football. I know we have basketball. I don't think we have cricket or football here.
You don't have cricket?
That I know of.
Tat's saying that's rugby. Yeah, rugby is quite something.
We have karate. I know that. Yeah. And, well, I think there's a lot of jokes about Israeli in sport.
Okay. We used to have an Israeli footballer play for my team, West Ham, Yossi Benayoun. He was a really good player back in the 90s. I think he played for your...
I heard about him.
I think he played for your national side as well. I think he did. Fair old time ago now.
Basketball players from here go to America later to play for teams.
Well, that's where the money is, isn't it? The money's in America. Basketball is only like a big money sport in America. I'm not sure. Maybe
we have Krav Maga.
Oh yeah, but that's not a sport though. That's a beating up other people's style, isn't it?
Nah, you're right though. That sounds like
Krav Maga. It's Krav and it's Krav, Krav Maga, I believe. Yeah. That's just like more of a self-defense thing, isn't it? The police use.
Yeah, we do have that.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we have in sports besides football. Soccer. Or, how do you say it in the UK?
Well, it's football. It's football. It's football everywhere in the world. But in America, they have this sport called hand egg that they insist on calling football, even though they don't use their feet. Well, they don't use their feet. They use their hands. And it's not a ball. It's an egg. So it should be called hand egg. But they insist on calling it football, even though they knew that there was already a sport called football. And, they just not very original, guys. Come on. Change it to hand egg. You know you want to.
So wait. But football is the ball with the pig.
Yeah, I think originally they were all made out of pigskin. Most balls are made out of pig skins or pig bladders or something like that.
Now I'm confused. There's football where you run with the ball here and everyone hugs.
No,
then there's soccer with the ball that's black and white.
Soccer is just what they called football in America because they decided to take football that already existed, the name football that already existed, and name their national sport the same name, even though it's not the same. So with football, which is what we call football, which everyone else calls soccer, we have a ball and we kick it with our feet. So it's called football. It's simple. But they have a sport where they throw it and hold it in their hands, and the ball is not ball-shaped but egg-shaped. And I'm saying they should call it hand egg rather than football.
Okay.
That's my contention.
I swear I'm stupid.
I
was imagining there's a third sport where you carry an egg
Yeah.
And I'm like, why haven't I heard of that one?
Maybe we should invent that one. Maybe that would be a good sport actually. If like there's one egg each in the team and nobody knows who's got the egg, so there could be like 20 people in each side. One person has the egg, but they all hold their hands like that. You don't know who's actually got the egg, and you got to get to the other side and put it in an egg cup without having your egg destroyed. So the other team got to try and destroy your egg, and you got to try and destroy their egg, and whoever's egg survives at the end gets a point or something like that.
I would pay money to see the training.
Yeah. That sounds like a good one to me.
How do you like your eggs, Mr. Gray?
How do I like my eggs? Unfertilized.
I mean, it means eating. How do you like to make them?
Yeah, we don't really name how we cook our eggs. Like I know in America they have all kinds of different ways of cooking their eggs, don't they? They have names for how it's done, like over easy and all that kind of palaver. And like we just have
Sam, but that's a good idea for a porno.
We just have fried, scrambled, boiled.
Hi,
poached.
Mr. Genome.
Hi,
hello.
Genome.
I can no longer sit idly by and listen to
like
Gray
animation.
denigrate our country, time zones, and sports. So I come in here to be the equilibrium.
Yeah.
Hello, Maddie.
Not denigrate. I'm just telling you how it should be. That's all. Why did they call it football in the first place? Remember, there was already a sport called football that had been going for, ages.
You should call it pig ball.
No, hand egg.
Actually, that'll piss off the vegans and the vegetarians.
Hand egg is a much better fitting name for it.
No, that'll still piss off the vegans.
Okay.
My guess is it was just to stick it to England. It's one more thing, It's like we'll take. Honestly, that's probably what it was.
I know. We haven't got over the tea stuff, man. So I can't believe you really wasted all that tea. I mean, it'd been all right. But throwing it in the bay would have been okay if you heated the bay up first and then maybe bunged in a bit of milk. And then you could have.
Well, wait, Mr. Gray, maybe that was a gesture for Cthulhu.
Yeah,
to appease Cthulhu.
They were summoning Cthulhu, yeah.
It was an offering.
They said, here you go, don't kill us.
Yeah, ice stick fighting, that's another sport. But that's kind of, is ice stick fighting, is that from Canada first, or did America come up with that one first?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think Canada's actually ever invented anything, so it was probably
moose racing. Surely moose racing.
Moose racing. That was probably Canada.
We need a Canadian. You're not a good equilibrium, Mr. Genome.
I can't help
I am pissing off the Canadians. Anyone from Canada here?
Yeah, that's true. We need a Canadian in there to even things up.
There's a few. 64-page specials one. Mr. Miracle's another one. There's a few other ones.
No one even chat.
Ooh, we need for a 64-page special here. He'll be a equal rival to Mr. Genome's voice.
Yeah, Sonimation's come up with a good ending to that sport. Oh, it's disappeared now. She's talking about that egg game that I was talking about. The winner has to push the egg into a bleached anus to win, apparently. So, yeah.
That would be a good game for a porno.
Right, it started the same as your football until someone invented the forward pass. Then the ball became oblong. It just attained, but we always have forward passing in football. Let's talk about rugby. Rugby doesn't have the forward pass. The term football was officially established in the rule book for the 1876 college football season when the sport first shifted from soccer-style rules to rugby-style rules. But you were still kicking the ball then, not picking the ball up and throwing it. I don't know. That sounds dubious. And Paolo says, hi, good afternoon, Paolo.
Blame Canada, Fivers Revenge says.
Mm-hmm. Fivers, I haven't heard from you in a while. How's it going?
He's still doing...
though.
I'll put the link in there in case Paolo wants to join us. He's joined us a few times in the past. He's always good. He can give us the perspective from the European mainland. Merriam-Webster stuck it to England, changing spelling of words like theatre and theatre. True story, yeah.
Color. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What have you guys got against the letter U that you excise it from all of your words? Like say labor, color. It's
undervalued as far as letters go.
Yeah.
U is the word of the day.
It's been cheapened. You're trying to shorten your alphabet to just 25 letters. So what have you been up to then? What's your horror thing you're doing at the moment?
Oh yeah. I still got one more movie to finish up in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and then I'm moving on to the next one. Which, hey, I'll go ahead and break it now.
Yeah,
What's that?
like James. Why is it? You say James Gallegos, but it's spelled with L's. Why? It's not Gallegos.
That's Spanish.
Gallegos.
The L's are something, and the H's and J's are something else. It's all very confusing.
It's like with K's. It's you look at it, it's like Khazar, but it's a Khazar. Then make it that. Fuck you.
Well, then you got Portuguese. The man spells his name Royce. It's pronounced Hoyce. So
yeah, that's R's are J's as well. Yeah, it's freaking. It's all incredible. Mind you, let's not even talk about the Israeli alphabet. That's not even like normal numerals. It's like dashes and blinking dots, and it's like Morse code or something. Hi, mate.
Am I on? I'm going to send you an Israeli text, Mr. Gray. You wait. I'm going to write you a whole page.
I see that Israeli writing. I think they're summoning Cthulhu. I think, Cthulhu has been summoned. The ancient runes have been carved into the whatever.
Wait until you see my chicken scratch.
Is Paolo frozen?
Alex, you could have won twice, Alex Big Blue.
Oh, yeah, he didn't. He failed. Armored Satan living colour. Fuck you. They must have fought. Oh, Mark G. Overseas in here. One of the headbangers. Got a headbanger in one of my fellow headbanging geezers.
Cat's Portuguese.
Yeah, he's frozen. Is he frozen? No, I can see his eyes moving. I thought he'd frozen for a second. What's happening?
He's good at staying in one place.
You have to interject forcefully. You'll never get a word in edgewise here.
Can you hear us?
Am I on?
Yeah.
Oh God! Everybody was being robotic, and I was losing everybody's face.
Because you froze for us for a second, and we wasn't sure if you were working or not. So what's happening?
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. We just did a giveaway. Not seen any videos from you for a long while. You're very busy there.
I've been on Howler Mouse's channel before he got married, and his friend Jared Osborne did a stream to commemorate Howler Mouse not being around. So I was there as well.
Okay.
Wait, who died?
Someone got married. I think you said. Who got
Howler
married?
Mouse. Howler Mouse got married.
I got married.
Who mouse?
Howler Mouse.
Holler Mouse. Who's Holler Mouse?
He's like the OG. He's the OG of comic book YouTube.
Okay.
I only found out about everybody because I once found out about Howler Mouse.
I've never heard of him. I think.
I've heard the term trouser mouse, but I've never heard that one. I have to check it out.
Yeah, it's terrible when women say that about you. Apparently, I've got to learn to read Ifrit. As soon as you can read Ifrit, you'll feel a whole lot smarter. Yeah, I don't even know what Ifrit is. I thought Ifrit was a demon from
it's a fire demon in
Mesopotamian mythology or something like that.
In Final Fantasy games, he's often a summon. So, fun fact there.
So, what movie are you doing after your Nightmare on Elm Streets have finished?
I'm thinking about doing the George Romero Living Dead series.
Cool.
So that's a possibility. We'll see.
Yeah, good stuff.
One of the ideas being
I've never
bandied
seen
about.
Any Freddy Krueger movie.
None?
You've never seen any of them?
No.
Oh, I love
sounds
them.
boring.
I watched all the things. I loved them. I wasn't even scared though.
No. I don't watch movies as much as I used to, but yeah, every now and again I'll find something to watch.
I grew up in the 80s, so it's kind of eponymous there. You have to watch these movies, you know.
So you just don't like movies, or you don't like horror movies, Paolo?
It depends. I don't really like horror movies, but I usually don't go after things. I prefer watching movies at home. So whatever's on TV, which is how I end up watching a lot of those movies that are only good for Saturday afternoons. But Fox is going back to showing old westerns here in Portugal. So
That's
when I kind of like watching those ones with Glenn Ford and John Wayne.
right, cool. I've
We call him the
probably
Duke,
seen
Greg.
them, but the Duke, yeah. I know John Wayne from the Preacher comic books. He was quite big in that. They never put him in the actual TV show, did they? But in the comic books, John Wayne was a big part of the Preacher.
Oh, the Preacher.
Yeah, but he didn't feature in the TV show though.
That first episode killed me. It was an hour long.
When I was
What wasn't it?
The wasn't there a series? There's a series, right? A TV series of the Preacher. And the first
Yeah, it
episode
was.
was like an hour. It almost killed me.
You didn't like it then?
No, it was okay. It was a whole hour.
when I was on the when I was in the army, when we used to be out on exercise or whatever, and sometimes it's getting hot and sweaty, so you undo the clip underneath your helmet, right?
I'm to Israel.
And then
Mr. Gino.
usually some NCO would come by and say, "Oh, you trying to be John Wayne because you got your straps hanging out and your freaking helmet goes cockeyed." It was perfect, man. You got to strike the pose.
By the way, are movie theaters even working now?
Don't know.
Not really
sure.
here in the States.
I don't think
Drive-ins are coming back though because of it. They're opening drive-ins, quite a few of them around.
Yeah. And last film I went to see was that Harley Quinn one that I know Matilda's not a fan.
I'm not a fan of the look.
No.
There's that comic where they purposefully make her look slutty. She looks far better there than that look in the movie. Whoever was that stylist, I want them fired.
Does anyone know?
I mean, that's not just me. If you love it, you love it. I just think
Tat wants to know who came up with Raisin Bran.
Who
Anybody? Was it Kellogg's maybe?
Oh, yeah, out of Battle
Kellogg,
Creek,
people-
Michigan. That's where all cereal comes from, basically.
Was it? I thought it was a variant of Weetabix. Wasn't it?
Probably.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
just
technically
reading.
First cereal was the Irish grain and all that. They made like porridge and stuff. So that was kind of, they even called it cereal. Like the steel cut oats is still called cereal. So I guess technically we weren't the originators, but probably the originators of Raisin Bran.
Sugar in a bowl with some milk.
Yeah. Perfect way to start the day.
I don't use cereal anymore, but
I haven't had cereal in years.
I start every day with some cereal, mainly. No, actually, sometimes I have pancakes. I've discovered these pancakes really cheap from Iceland. You can put them in the microwave for 1.5 minutes, and they're all ready. Very nice.
So people always want to know about the different time zones and what time everyone is in. So let's talk about the weather. We got Portugal, we got England, we got Israel. So let's go in that order. Paula, how's
I'll start.
Okay, whoever wants to start. How's the weather over there?
Fucking hot. Next.
Yeah. Oh, today's a bit chillier. It's only 32 degrees Celsius. That's like 95.
Yeah, I still work in Fahrenheit because I could never bother to learn Celsius. And as for the weather outside, I've no idea. I don't go outside. What do I want to go outside for? I just sit indoors all day. I barely get dressed.
Does not exist. Gray, outside does not exist.
You don't need
It's a
it.
conspiracy.
You don't need it.
Don't believe it.
This is the outside here. People all over the world. This is my outside. This is my window. I don't open my curtains. I just put YouTube on and look into other people's worlds through their videos.
You have to put projectors when you get at your windows. So every time you see the outside, you're watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're not judging you, Tat.
I feel you there, Maddie, because I've spent some time in the desert, so I know how hot it gets over there.
Yeah,
it's pretty warm.
I'm Diamond Girl now.
Yeah. Nothing like the army for me. I joined the church lads brigade when I was about 5 years old for about 2 minutes, and even that was too regimented for me. They wanted us to hit triangles and blow bugles and that whilst walking around like in a kind of line. I was like, nah, can't bother with it. Too much like organisation. I can't remember how old I was. I was young.
And then you try to ask them, hey, have you guys ever heard of Iron Maiden?
Yeah, that was long before I heard of Iron Maiden.
Who's that Izzy guy? Yeah, but no, actually, I spent some time in Egypt too before I was even in the military, so doing work over there. So
yeah,
I prefer the lizard people conspiracy. That one's fun.
What conspiracy?
The lizard people one. The one where the outside is a conspiracy is just too much.
Mark G says Grey Man is named after the colour of the sky in the UK. It's kind of true, actually. It's kind of off. It's quite blue, actually. Looking at the kitchen window, it was quite bright out. I think it was quite warm yesterday. I went outside to put some rubbish in the bin, and I thought, oh, it's a bit warm out here. And I quickly ran in and shut the door before I got any kind of like colour in my skin. You know, I have to maintain the pasty white look that I'm known for.
Do you moonbathe, Mr. Grey, to keep that up? You don't outside.
Yeah, outside in the moon. Yeah, no, I don't. I just crawl under rocks to keeping the moisture. TerraVision. When did you review TerraVision?
that was one of my first videos, actually.
Is that a film or the band TerraVision?
Film from the 80s.
There was a band called TerraVision as well.
If you want to see good, cheesy, low budget, schlocky movies, that's a good one to watch.
Yeah,
I think it had a budget of like $200,000 or something.
I need to watch the latest Rambo movie. I just discovered that it's free on Amazon Prime, apparently. And I've got Amazon Prime, so I need to watch that. Last Blood. But I can't. I don't know. It's your kind of entertainment ways have changed. I kind of like can't. If I just concentrate on one film, if I've just got a film on and nothing else, I just fall asleep. So I'll have a film on while I'm doing something on the computer at the same time. I can't. If I just concentrate on just watching something without multitasking something else, I just nut out basically.
Man, you're getting old,
I
Grey.
feel you, Mr. Grey. I can't focus on the movie unless it's in the movie theater. That's because there's nowhere to go.
It could be the old age, actually. I just assumed it was the fact that I can't. My mind doesn't like to concentrate on just one thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just being an old git.
What's my excuse? I'm 26. Maybe I'm losing it. That's it. It's over. The brain's dead.
So Paolo, I don't drink anymore, but you live by wine country? Because port used to be one of my favorite drinks.
Yeah, but I'm in the south, so we have a sweet wine called Muscatel, which is good as an aperitif. But our region's red wine is known for winning a couple of awards every year.
Beautiful stuff. I don't even have a taste for wine, but I love port. That's the only wine I ever liked. And I used to drink it in vast, copious amounts.
Because your gout, isn't it? Drinking too much port.
I don't know. My feet feel fine, but
so I have a bit of port at Christmas with like every year I buy one bottle of port at Christmas and that's it. And I have that with like cheese and biscuits. It's like nice bit of port, cheese and biscuits.
I have a thing for Irish whiskey.
Oh yeah, we have that at Christmas as well.
You're a Bushmills man, huh? I see. Yep.
Oh, we don't actually Irish whiskey. We have like a whiskey liqueur, like chocolatey, kind of like Baileys, that kind of thing. Have you heard of that?
Yeah,
it's like Irish cream. They call it Irish cream. They call it.
Yeah, my mom likes it, and she's in her 70s.
Yeah, no, that's a great drink for the sewing circle, Grey.
Yeah. No, that's sherry. Sherry's for the sherry. So old granny with the sherry.
We don't have sherry in Portugal. We don't drink that sherry. Spanish swill.
Oh, it's Spanish rubbish, is it? What you should do? I've heard it's quite a good thing to do. If anyone comes into your country, throw it into the bay. Throw it straight into the bay, like it was tea. Just throw it in there. Anything you object to, like hand egg games and sherry. Throw it all into the port or the bay.
Speaking of sherry, they're rerunning Poirot again in Portuguese TV.
Okay.
On PBS? Yep.
No, it's on Fox Crime. Fox. We have 3 Fox channels, and Fox Crime never hardly ever shows any of the American Fox shows, but they're always playing Poirot and the one with the priest investigating crimes. What was his name?
Father Dowling?
No.
There's a Father Dowling Investigates as well, wasn't it?
No, and Midsummer Murders.
Oh, right.
Midsummer Murders is always on TV. That thing is going on. Is like on season 21, I think.
That is the most dangerous place in the whole of England. Midsummer.
Yeah.
It's like downtown LA. There's like deaths popping off every 5 minutes in that place. It looks so nice. It looks really calm and quiet and all that, but it's murders nonstop.
Wait, is that also by Agatha Christie, the priest guy?
No, but it's also based on a book series.
Oh.
Father Brown.
Father Brown, right? Yeah.
Can you write it to me later, Mr. Paulo? I want to have a look. Can you send me the name on Instagram later? I want to have a look.
Father Brown.
You like priests investigating murders? Is that your thing?
I like murders.
My girlfriend watches all those kind of detectives and that kind of stuff. She's bad into all them.
Look what Stan wrote.
Jambu is that's she says like a grown-up version of Home Alone, the latest Rambo. Apparently.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, Home Alone with a grown-up wouldn't have been as
no. There was
it wouldn't have worked as well, would it?
There was a kind of like recent kind of film. It was a kind of bit like that. It was like 4 old guys in a veterans bar or something, and they're fighting off all these druggies that are trying to break their way in to get their drugs or something like that. Can't remember what it's called now.
They didn't have budget for zombie makeup?
No, yeah, it was all right. VHF or something weird like that. Something to do with veterans, like clubhouse or something like that. I can't remember what the initial stood for now.
Metallock? What do you mean, Metallock?
Matlock was an old detective show, I think.
Andy Griffith, in his later years, played Matlock.
Or Cthulhu.
Was he detective or was he
he was a
courthouse lawyer? That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Now he was the police officer in Mayberry, but yeah, he turned into a lawyer. He moved up.
Okay, I remember Ironsides from when I was a kid.
Yep.
He was in a wheelchair, wasn't he?
Oh,
yep. He was Raymond Burr. Yep, that was.
Take your word for it.
Yeah, he plumped up nicely. He was very thin and svelte in the 50s.
From Raymond Burr, we had Perry Mason.
Perry Mason.
Even in the 80s, we were getting Perry Mason reruns.
Ah, buggers.
Even in black and white.
If you want to see, actually you have to read these, but if you want good crime stories, read anything by John McDonald. The Travis McGee series is just incredible. And Ross McDonald, another film noir guy. You can't see it because of the green screen, but Raymond Chandler, that sort of thing.
That's a green screen. I thought it was a picture.
No, that's
he doesn't go out of the house without green screen.
No, I use it now.
Well, you don't actually realize he's a 70-year-old woman, and he just wears a green costume, a green bodysuit.
I know.
I can make myself go invisible.
He projects an image over.
Yeah, and his name is actually Barbara, and he has 70 cats.
I can show you my Claude Rains too. That's let's see. I got to do some work here.
Claude Rains.
Yep.
Our Invisible Man.
I need that for when I live stream. I'll just put it up. You don't have to show my ugly mug.
Too much like effort.
Yeah, I make people look at my face. If I'm going to take the time to make a video, they have to actually look at my mug. So
I'd rather not. I mean, it's mine, not yours. I mean, not mine.
All right, so what's the conversation, folks?
I don't know. We seem to be talking about comics. Have you bought any comics lately, Paolo? Any new?
No, they canceled the 2 comic book events that we usually have in Portugal. Even though one of them is only in November, so but they already canceled it.
All right, gentlemen, I think I will go.
Okay, mate.
I got a lot more drawings to do. I gotta get started on Captain America.
Cool.
All right,
Who's that for?
people are going to go.
Cool. Like his tentacles. Cheerio.
Let's not get into the tentacles, Mr. Gray.
You have to enunciate it when you say it. Must
you,
enunciate tentacles.
Bye, guys. Have fun.
See you later. Do I have to kick you out or can you just leave? I'm not too sure.
Bye, but I can't get the bloody button. Bye.
I'll remove you. That'll help. Oh, she's gone. She worked it out.
It's rather draconian, isn't it?
By accident, yeah.
I needed to buy there's probably 2 or 3 new of the French Conan books that I still have to buy, and I need to see if I can get some of the 1800 series. They have adaptations of 19th century adventure characters from literature like Sherlock Holmes and Alan Quatermain, but they're also made in France. They're from the same publisher who's doing those Elric adaptations, which have been published in English by Titan.
Okay. Well, who they were from originally, the Elric titles?
Elric.
Are they brand new or?
No, I think they're. I'm not sure. I think they're direct adaptations.
Right, from the books.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
So
there's a series.
Moorcock, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a series adapting French series, comic book series adapting Agatha Christie novels. Already have 3 of them in Portuguese.
That's weird, man. That's crazy. What is it about the little like English village life and murders that is somehow interesting to the rest of the world?
Mm-hmm.
It boggles my mind when I hear some of the people in America talking about how they like that bloody what's that stupid period drama we have over here where they're all living in a stately home and
Downton Abbey.
And I hear
I love that shit.
Yeah, and I hear these like I don't know big fucking Texans or something going, oh yeah, I love that Downton Abbey, man. It's like what? What's that all about? Hey.
It's just kind of interesting to us. The whole Victorian period is very interesting to people who didn't really have
that's
it.
Early 20th. That's Roaring 20. That's in the Roaring 20s.
Oh, is that when it's set? I don't know.
Yeah. The first episode is when the Titanic sinks, and then World War I starts. Then World War I ends. They have the Spanish flu. Then they start driving around in cars. They install electricity. People die.
Yeah. I've never watched it.
Well, we had the Speakeasy, so that's more interesting. So
yeah, just plenty of older. What was that? I remember another Rockford Files. The Rockford Files. That's an old one. I remember.
James Garner. Yeah.
The original Hawaii Five-0 when we were kids. The music to Hawaii Five-0. We used to jump around the front room pretending that we're blinking. There's a little bit of sort of like rowing our invisible canoes around the front room when that music came on. It was.
Wasn't that Jack Lord?
Yeah, that's a really cool theme tune, though.
Well, I got a few books, Faith. Nothing too big. I got this one for the next Graders Notes, Wildcats 21, and is
that the next Graders Notes, Wildcats 21?
Mm-hmm. That's the J Hood picked the book, so he's going to be the guest grader on that show. So
that's the first Alan Moore, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Actually,
Alan Moore did Wildcats, did he?
Yeah,
I did not know. I know he did Supreme for a while.
Look at that cover. Doesn't that say 90s right there? It's like all sharp angles and everything. Nondescript heroes.
I was collecting Wildcats as well. I must have stopped before it got to 21 because I don't remember.
I forget how far up it went, and then I got this Time Warp #2 anthology kind of book. It's kind of a fun one.
Because you reviewed Time Warp #1, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I liked it, actually. I liked it a lot.
I love the logo of that. I've never got that. I'd like to get one. I'd like to get the set one day just for the logo. That logo is just the best.
I think it was, 8 issues, I think?
Yeah.
And those stories sound interesting. That's something that I'd like to see collected in a giant hardcover volume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make a good omni.
I'm a sucker for those.
Yeah. I haven't got any room on my shelves. Yeah, I haven't got much room on my shelf for trades anymore, to be honest. My shelves are all... I've got sort of piled high and I haven't got much room for anything, but never mind. Who needs space? The thing is, once you start making furniture out of long boxes and short boxes, then you know you've really got problems.
No, here's what you do. You get rid of the bed.
Yeah.
You put all the trade paperbacks on the ground. You throw your sheets over the books and you sleep on them.
Yeah. Works too. Makes a good box spring. Coffee table. You make a little a wooden apparatus that goes right over top. Makes a nice shell, right?
Yeah.
Be creative. Hey, Apollo, I see you're closing in on 200 subs, man. When's the next push?
I don't know. I haven't done a video in months.
2 months it says. Get with it, man.
But I did a couple pretty much every day when we had the Amadora Festival, because here conventions are art exhibits. So I filmed those and I make a commentary, and people seem to like it once the first time I did that.
Yeah, I saw a few of those. I might go. I've got a feeling I might go and get some comics from the 50p bin maybe next week. There's one of the shops has opened up, and I know they've got cheap 50p selection. And I think Comico Dino does like a show every now and again where they have like a £10 haul. Who's got the best little comics for £10? So I might go and spend £10 on the 50p bins and see if I can go on his stream with him next time he does it.
Do you remember a UK magazine called Blast?
Yes, I had a couple of blasts. Yeah. Didn't only
Yeah,
last like 5 issues, didn't it?
7. A guy here in Portugal got a bunch of them for free.
Oh, that's cool.
Because nobody wanted them.
Right. That was an anthology one, wasn't it? It's kind of like an adult sci-fi anthology, wasn't it?
Yeah. They had the stories from Concrete and Lazarus Churchyard.
Yeah. Did it have Axel Pressbutton in it as well? Was he one of them?
No, that was in Warrior.
Oh, okay. I've seen him in other things. Did you ever get Toxic?
Toxic, no. But when Mike Carey was here in Portugal a few years ago, I interviewed him and we talked a bit about Toxic.
Toxic was a good mag.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of lost maybe a little bit towards the end, but it had martial law in it, which I really, really like martial law.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff.
I have the original mini-series and the follow-up one-shot with making fun of Marvel.
Is it Kingdom of the Punisher destroys the Punisher one?
Crime and Punishment, yeah.
Yeah, they're all taking them. And there's the whole Golden Age one when they're taking the piss out of the Golden Age. Is the one where he's taking the one where he's like Batman, where their Batman basically gets his parents killed. Doesn't he get his butler to kill his parents or something like that, so he can inherit all their money and use them as an excuse to fight crime or something crazy like that. But they are cool. They were talking about a movie, weren't they? It was an option for a movie years ago, decades ago, but nothing ever came of it.
Right. And it's kind of past now. I mean, it was very much a product of its time. It
probably
doesn't resonate. Yeah.
I suppose they could definitely bring out new stories, like taking the mick out of Image and stuff like that. Mind you, it's probably missed out on that now. It's probably too late for that.
Now the best thing would be to make fun of continuity reboots and the unending stream of comic book events. If they wanted to do
modern
bring back
day
martial law, yeah.
Do you ever read martial law, Gino?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do you ever read martial law?
No.
He's cool. So check him out. Kind of irreverent, kind of like comic books.
Which publisher was that?
I'm not even sure. I think originally it was Marvel, wasn't it? Epic. The first
miniseries and Crime and Punishment were Marvel.
Yeah.
The other miniseries were published by Dark Horse in the 90s. There was still a crossover with Pinhead, I think.
Yeah, it was crossover, and also they did crossed over with Savage Dragon at one point, didn't he? And with Mask, crossed over with Mask as well.
Actually,
the ones I saw.
Mask, I don't remember. Savage Dragon, yeah,
because I think Mako got killed or something like that, and he was trying to find out who killed Mako or something. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I read them. I think they were black and white as well, weren't they? Them ones, I'm sure they were black and white.
The Dark Horse ones?
No, the one where he met up with Savage Dragon. Sure, there was like ones that were like little story ones, just a couple of illustrations that came kind of later on, but I'm not too sure. Sun Animation says she's way into gaming at the moment. She's not read any comics in 2 weeks. So I have a few days where I haven't read like a comic for a day or something, but then and again I like to settle down and read through a few. You know what I mean? Actually, I'm not only gaming for a few days because my mate's decorating in there. But yeah, I might have to get back into Skyrim or Fallout soon. Do you do any gaming, Paolo?
No.
Never bothered.
No. And I had Civilization 3 installed on my old laptop. It's my old laptop is still there and it still has Civilization 3.
But you don't play it. Fair enough.
It wasn't about the playing. It's just keep staying busy for a while when I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah. So haven't always got time for all these things, have you, really?
Mm-hmm. I think it takes too long to get good at a game, especially now that you always have to be plugged into the internet and you have to do all the playing with somebody else.
Yeah, can't bother with that. Like, Fallout has done that now. I can't bother to do that. This animation is a samurai at the moment, apparently. I'm not sure which game she's playing, but she's playing as a samurai. You're not streaming it though, Animation. I saw you stream that that French kind of base game with some plague or whatever was going on, and she was using a sling all the time. I saw you did that video, but not seen any other gaming videos from you. So, how's work at the moment? Because you had a lot of trouble with the corona, didn't you? With getting to events and all that.
Yeah, well, the auto companies are basically doing everything online now. This week they introduced a new electric crossover. Nissan introduced a new electric crossover. Next week, Jeep is introducing their next electric crossover. So that's
I know sod all about cars. I can't even drive.
They have 4 wheels and you can drive them.
I can't drive them. I haven't got a license. I've never bothered to learn. So yeah.
And I have a lot of there's a lot of motorsports this weekend. You know, if I was still working at my old magazine, I would have to be watching them all.
All right.
I know conversations probably left it behind, but is this the series you're talking about that it tied in with?
Yeah. There was a
right.
It was still Marvel Epic, but
yeah.
Right.
That was a fun series. Some of the Hellraiser books weren't too bad. They actually had I forget how long it ran. These are like
there were several series. There
yeah.
Let me see if I remember. Nightbreed had 24 issues, I think. And Hellraiser, I think, also had 24. There was a Weave World miniseries. That Book of the Dead is a spin-off. Pinhead had a spin-off. And there was a whole line of horror superheroes that Clive Barker made up for Marvel around 1993. What was it called? I forgot. But the Wachowskis were... No, after that. There was something called Ecto Kid.
Yeah.
Saint Sinner. James Robinson worked on one of those. The Wachowskis also worked on one of those.
These are all gracing 50p bins now, and then 50-cent bins.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that was creative was shunned back then, so it probably still is.
But I forgot the name of it. It was an entire line. I forgot the name.
Yeah. There's so many like these comics that you like. They sort of fail, and then you see them in the 50p and the cheap bins all the time. And then finally, when you think to yourself, "Oh, I might start getting some of those comics," and they're never in the 50p bins anymore. They're now like in you have to order them online or they're never cheap. Like when you saw them going cheap and didn't pick them up, you're like kicking yourself. Why didn't I pick these up when it was like 5-6 deep in the blinking in the 50p bins? It's like Impact. They're trying to collect the Impact run of comics, and yeah. Apparently, then what's the 70s one? Atlas. Atlas apparently used to be always in the cheap bins, but I never saw them over here. But
yeah, because now everybody's trying to do complete sets, and I think there were 2 series with there was Archetype books, and those are the rarest ones. Because they were the ones that people didn't bother buying, so they had bigger returns.
Right.
So now the hardest to get.
Them romance books. I never once in my life thought to buy a romance book. But I was watching some channels now. Those romance books go for big money now. And like it's like quite a lot of people were after them, and like they're just crazy thinking about some money. The romance. Because
when Marvel brought them back in 1970, they got John Romita and John Buscema to do the art. So if you're an artist completist, you want Romita and Buscema.
Strange stuff.
Mm-hmm. Imagine sticking those guys on there.
there was this guy who did the Sexiest Women. He died in 1958 or 59. Matt Baker.
Right. Heard the name.
And he was one of the best. And he was one of the guys that did the first graphic novel back in the 50s.
Okay.
It was called It Rhymes with Lust. Fantagraphics did a special edition in 1992, but it's been out of print ever since.
Paulo, do some more videos, for goodness sake. You just did a video right there. Here's your next subject.
See you later. You're off to go skiing, is that, Mark? Oh, you're off ski, so you're not off to go skiing. You're off ski. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, good to see you, mate. Don't forget, I want to do an interview with you for your band. I want to start doing band interviews on my channel. So get the rest of you guys together and let's get it on.
My problem with doing videos is that I usually do them with the books that I own, and there's stuff that I know that I don't own the books, and I just can't be bothered to do a video and grab screenshots and glue all the audio. So I even do all the ones that I do live, just so I have a book here. Let me talk about the book. Then I spend half an hour pontificating, and that's it.
I'm not. I just show what comics I've got and show comics in my boxes, and that's it. I don't have much to say about things, to be honest. I haven't got the blinking intelligence to string meaningful sentences together about stuff. So I just say, look at this picture. Look at this going on here. That's what I do.
Yeah. When I once did a series on Wildstorm, and all the videos were about 20 to 30 minutes. But then I decided to do Planetary. I thought I'm probably gonna do 40, 45 on this one because I have a lot more to talk about. Then I noticed I was still going on book 3, and it was already 1 hour 20, and I still had to start book 4, and I rushed it.
Blimey.
You have my problem. I see. I can't make a video less than 25 minutes. It's impossible for me.
So that one ended up being almost 1 hour 45. I don't think anybody wanted to read it. Yeah. Then I asked a few guys from the Wildstorm Facebook group to do a live show, and we all talked about it for about an hour.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, I keep thinking about doing like a regular live stream kind of thing, but I don't know. My enthusiasm is like up and down like a blinking porn star's knickers. You know what I mean? I get like, oh, let's do this, and then I start. I can't bother to do that. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like so.
Yeah, but the best is just to start a stream and no planning, and we end up talking about everything.
Yeah, that's what I tried doing. And then whatever. Maybe I'll do sometimes to see how I feel. I don't know what to talk about. That's why I like to have a box of comics. I just talk about the comic that I'm holding up at that particular moment. That's the easy thing.
I've always wondered what is in that gigantic jug to the right of your oven. Your other right.
I kind of like I can see both sides of it, but I can't see what you put it.
Your left, my right.
Red.
Yeah,
the red thing there. That's homemade wine that I don't think really took, to be honest. My housemate's done it. We've got some grapes that grow in the garden, and surprisingly, and she sort of. But I don't think it's got any body to it because there's not a single bubble has come up in the in the optic thing. So I don't think it's got any alcohol content, to be honest.
Gotta make prison wine. Throw some bread in there and watch it go. Yep.
Well, it's got yeast. It's had yeast in it. I think she should have put it in a warmer place. I think she's just left it out in the kitchen. She said she should put it somewhere warm because the yeast needs a bit more warmth to get it working its magic. You know, my mum used to make wine a lot, so she used to make some really cool, really mind blowing wine. She made this ginger and carrot wine, which is like spirits. It was really literally. I drank like half a glass. I'm like, can't feel my face. I don't know how she did it, but it was, and she could never recreate it because she never like followed the recipe. She just threw whatever in. Oh, let's put some parsnips in. Yeah, that'd do. Parsnips, Brussels sprouts. You know, well, maybe not Brussels sprouts and parsnips, but yeah, he did have some crazy stuff in it, and some of them was really nice. Some of them made you go blind for a couple of hours, but most of them were really nice.
I used to make my own beer, but other than that, I've never tried doing wine.
Yeah. But
the easiest stuff to do here is those sweet liquors. My aunt once did a batch of strawberry liquor. She just brandy, bunch of strawberries, a lot of sugar, and a couple of months later, she had some bottles.
Fiverr's Revenge says he scripts his videos. I don't think he does. He just picks up some comics and goes, "This is what I've bought."
I never script. Like, only thing I script is my interviews because I'll have some questions ahead of time, so it keeps me focused so I don't start rambling off into some unknown territories.
Yeah,
but everything else,
Because when I wrote for a Portuguese language blog, that's when I did the better stuff. I could just write, then I just add more stuff or expand it. I once did a 7-post series on 6-post series on the history of science of secret identities in comics.
I probably should script maybe they'd be shorter if I started scripting my stuff because I can write really fast. But I just like to get on there and kind of freewheel and wing it.
Yeah, I used to do a fanzine many moons ago, a heavy metal fanzine. Ran for about 8 issues of various stupid things in it, like reviews and interviews and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was going to say, Fiverr's Revenge. You are the juice and the bomb. I think that's how he signs off his videos. You're all the juice and the bomb, or something like that.
Well, another issue I have too is I tend to start sounding robotic if I script it too much, and it looks like you can actually, if you look closely, you can see the eyes going back and forth just a little bit. I even built a teleprompter, and I never use it. I think I've used it once for like one video, but yeah, I just don't want to sound too mechanical, so I just try to.
What you need to do is you put the teleprompter like 10 yards away from,
so they can't see your eyes.
Yeah, because then you're always looking at the same place.
I built a teleprompter for $1. Literally, I went and bought a picture frame at the dollar store with a piece of glass on it, and that was my screen. I have it up there. It's pretty interesting, and I use an old box I had sitting around. But
you project onto it or something like that. You project onto it, and how does it scroll? It's like a scrolling speed or something.
What the glass does is you can get a teleprompter for like your iPad or your phone, right? And you put it in, and it goes upside down on the phone, and then it projects onto the glass. The glass turns it around so you can read it. And the camera shoots through the glass, so you're looking straight at the camera lens the whole time. So it seems like it's high tech, but it's not. But the teleprompters are very expensive, like $300-$400 for cheap ones to buy. So I'm cheap. I built my own.
Or you could start wearing shades when you have a prompter.
That is true.
So that way nobody can see your eyes.
I used to have some.
Mirrored shade, so you can see the words going up in the mirrors as you're talking.
You gotta watch reflections.
You're like Max Headroom or something like that. If you did that,
no.
that could be
Matthew
that could be your thing. You could go into the Matrix. So your words are going across your mirrored eyes, and you could have the Matrix going on the green screen behind you. You could pretend you're your own what do you call it? AI, genome AI or something like that. I think he's got to get some mirrored glasses now. Can you make a video on how to do that? Okay, yeah, I can't. Genome might be able to. Genome?
It's like
Over Easy Mode wants you to make a video showing how to do that.
Well, I can show you right now, but it's like show and tell time. I got all kinds of stuff. But here's a box I had from Loot Crate a long time ago, right? It's so dusty right now. It's in my closet. So I cut out a square on the top, and I bolted on basically this piece of cheap glass.
Okay.
And then what you do is, I can't do this with two hands here, but you put the camera here, right? You put your phone or iPad in here. It reflects up onto the glass here, and then you just shoot directly through. You definitely want the glass clean, and then you can read the words right here and look at your screen. But that's all you got to do is make a box type thing. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And have a program. Some of the programs are free. Some are like $10 for a teleprompter program. And then there you go. You have a teleprompter.
Did you get that over Easy Mode? I didn't understand it, but I have no intention of making one. So
maybe I'll do a video, but I never use it, so it's hard being able to make a video on it.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, when you do your reviews, you just do a lot of editing, don't you? You just talk a bit for a bit and just cut out all the bits where you.
I almost never. Only time I make a cut is if I cough. I have to turn my head and clear my throat, or the phone rings or something like that. I'll cut that out, but everything else I just leave the errors and stuff in there. I just freewheel
it. Okay.
Or sometimes I put a movie clip over like a blur or like a mess up or something like that too. So there's a little bit of editing, of course, but.
You could start doing like Philip DeFranco, and here I am talking about this.
Or Max Headroom. There we go.
Yeah, because that's there's a bunch of guys who decide to just do jump cuts.
Yeah,
I don't care.
it annoys me because you get people and they have 500,000 subs and they can't go 10 seconds without having a cut. It just drives me bananas. It's like, just get a teleprompter. If you are that bad at it, have someone write it for you. But
and
over easy, yeah.
Do you have a deliberate start for every single one of your videos? Because you start every video, don't you? Hi, folks, this is Gino. When you do like hey, folks, this is Gino. And you go like that. So,
it's like a mantra. It kind of gets you in the zone. So it's like, hey, everyone, Genome here. You kind of get this head tilt and that and all that. And it gives people something to relate to. And it just gets me in the zone. As soon as I say that, I'm like, I don't even think about it anymore. It just comes out of me like vomit.
It's like like a hypnotic prompt kind of thing. It's like it gets you started up.
It's strange, and then I talk for 40 freaking straight minutes, but maybe that's why I don't get more subs.
It's interesting. It's interesting how people.
When I started getting into YouTube, I preferred the guys who talked for half an hour, 40 minutes, because the first channel that I subscribed to was Joe Rogan's, and he does 3-hour interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and just watching a 10-minute video just didn't seem like a payoff.
Just got to say, is everyone sub to Collecting Chaos? Everyone know Collecting Chaos?
Collecting Chaos?
Collecting
Yeah,
Chaos,
because he's on 99 subs, and we need to get him over the 100. So search him out, folks.
Let me check.
Everyone sub up Collecting Chaos. Let me see if I can find his link. I'll put it in the description.
Good.
Gonna get him.
It's
Try and get him over.
It's coming in with video games, so I can't do the search on it too easy.
I'm gonna find
it's with K's. Okay, hold on. That was
yeah.
problem.
Collecting Chaos. Still on 99.
We'll fix that. I don't think I'm subbed to him. Let's see.
No, I'll stick it in the
Chaos Mac.
Stick it in the description.
Oh,
everyone
I spelled chaos wrong too. Silly
it's
me.
K's. It's all K's.
There we go. That should be 100.
Cool. He's pretty cool. He shows like toys and he shows lots of comics and he does comic repairs as well on his channel. He's a cool dude.
It's so hard to keep track. There are so many channels, and I feel awful because I want to watch everyone's content, but there just isn't time. You know, I work full time. I got projects around the house. I got to do the channel stuff. My videos take forever to do, and it's like, so I really feel bad about that.
Yeah, you can't watch everyone, but I try to, but it's not possible. I have to. Yeah, I don't watch lots of stuff, but I'm subbed to lots of people anyway. So yeah, it's not easy. But then I kind of say I'm reading some comics while I'm watching a video, so I look up every now and again. That's why there's some people who don't even do any talking. If they don't do any talking, just show comics with some music. I can't handle that because I want to hear them go, "Oh, this is a comic." And I'll look up and see what the comic is. Oh yeah, cool. Back to my read a few more panels. You know, if it's just music and comics, I can't. It's like I can't be bothered with that. I want to have people talking about their comics and that kind of thing, saying why they bought it, what they like about it.
Like when I found Silver Age Dave and Metarog and After Comics, they always had a story to go. They always have a story to go with their comics.
Yeah, they're good content.
Over easy. I'm sorry if it was unclear. Here's this again, real quick. Oh, this is, I forgot to tell you, you have to keep it at a certain angle for it to work correctly. I found that the height of a DVD is perfect. So I use a DVD case, but so you want it at an angle like this that makes the words invisible to the camera, but you can see it from where you're sitting. And all you need is a box and a lid that's adjustable, and that's it, and a piece of glass. So the better the glass, the better.
Does the phone sit in the bottom of the box?
Yeah, it'll
somehow it projects onto the glass.
I'd show you, but I don't have the teleprompter on this phone. But take your phone here with the program running.
Yeah,
right down there, kind of center it on the glass.
Right,
and that's it. And then point your camera through this way. And then you're good to go. That's your teleprompter.
That's kind of like old school kind of device, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a mixture of technology and like old school principles of photography, I suppose.
I went all MacGyver on this one. But I think I saw a video on someone building their own, and I kind of just made my own from watching that. I like to do stuff out in the garage, so it's I like projects.
A telepomp program, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever do anything too organized. I'm not clever enough for that kind of thing. I just like to waffle. It's like to waffle. I can't bother to do anything that takes too much effort. I kind of like, used to do like stuff that put a lot more effort into things, but it feels to me that the more effort you put into something, the less it's people who enjoy it. So it's just like, well, I might as well just. The amount of times I've put like loads of effort into stuff and nothing ever come of it, and just got to the stage it's like screw making effort. I just do something really simple and easy. And if people like it, if no one likes it, no problem, because I haven't put any effort into it. That's how I roll now.
Like my movie reviews on average take between 6 and 8 hours total to do. So it gets really hard. Some of my other ones get like 12 views. It's like, this is definitely not worth my, cost of time ratio here. But so, yeah, it is kind of weird how that works. Have you been getting any revenue from your monetization yet?
Brace yourselves for this, guys. 57 cents in 3 days. Oh, yeah.
Now you can go play the 50-cent bins now.
No, not yet, because they don't pay you out to get to 100. So when you get to $100, so 50 cents, let's say 50 cents in 3 days. So 6 days for $1. So someone do the math. 600 days. I've got 600 days to make 100. I don't know. 300 days to make 100. That's too much like hard work for me. A lot of days. No, 300 days, isn't it? So if I made it's not. 600
well, 50
days.
cents a day for $100. So so 50 days? Yeah. No, 50 cents. Yeah, you're right. 100 days.
No, that's more than that, I think.
No, yeah, 200 days.
600 days. Is it not 600? I don't know. 600, 300, or 200. It's a number of days.
It's a lot of days.
It's a lot of days, yeah. But hopefully, build it up slowly. The more videos that they'll get monetized, I'll probably get. I was already on $14.50, but they changed the rules like ages ago and made it so I couldn't monetize anymore. But never mind. I'm back in the money now.
I think if I ever get up to that level, I think I will actually just do like Patreon and stuff. Like, look, guys, I'll give you the option. I don't want to monetize here. I don't want you to make you sit through commercials or have to click on commercials. If you want to donate. You'll probably get more money that way anyway, be honest with you, until you're at 10,000, 50,000 subs or whatever. Patreon probably pay you better.
Because even if you're getting super chats, YouTube keeps 30% of them.
Yeah, I think that it's not too bad because I've got like a skippable video at the beginning of my video, so people just skip it, and I think there's like an advert on the side, so it doesn't really get in anybody's way or anything like that. So whatever.
See, I really would like to get some return on this investment because I got like $2,500 invested in YouTube so far, or something like that. Some nonsense.
Wow. I've invested. Well, I wear the camera because I used it for filming bands, so. But I don't monetize any band's footage because it's not my music, so I don't put any monetization on that. Just on stuff where it's just me sitting talking to a camera, or I've made a silly cartoon or something like that kind of thing. Or one of the many movies. Well, I say many movies, about 3 movies that I've made. Well, I wouldn't call them movies exactly. It's just a couple of people in a house pretending there's a story going on.
So, Paolo, what's the plans for the channel in the future? Anything coming up?
No, I need to sit down. The thing is, I only have time to do my videos when I'm dead tired, which is usually around 10, 11 p.m. So then I end up not doing them. I have a Squadron Supreme thing that I want to do. And after that, I don't know. I think I'd like to do a series, but even without visual support. But then I'd probably have to do some editing stuff.
I don't know how you keep the enthusiasm going, Gino. My enthusiasm just wanes. Like, I'm a fragile ego. I just get like, everybody hates me.
Well, I've come to accept that. But I mean, every couple of months, if you notice, I'll have like a week or two. I don't even make barely a video. And it's like, I got to stop and recharge for a while because it just gets so grinding. Because, like I said, you come home and then I spend 4 hours in the editing chair right after work. I'm sitting there eating dinner at the freaking computer and it just wears on you,
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to recharge sometimes. I should probably do simpler videos, then I wouldn't get so burnt out. But I can't help it. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a couple of channels like Over Easy Mode. He does really good in-depth videos as well, and he doesn't get nowhere near as many blinking views as he should get, or as many subs as he should get. And I can't understand how you're not a bloody 1,000 bloody subs at least by now. But I don't know. You can't legislate for what people like and what people will watch. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these people sitting there watching a TV or watching a trailer for something, and somehow that's got 20,000 subs. Or it's like, what?
Reaction videos. That's the one that killed me. It's people sitting around watching things and people watching them watch things, and that they have 50,000 subs, 100,000 subs. For what? I wish I could like lower myself to do that, but I feel too self-conscious, And
they're always pretending that they're angry. Why did they do this? This sucks. This was the worst idea ever.
controversy and whatever and negativity sells, I think.
That's true. That's true. I should start saying I hate all the videos I review, and then I probably get some hits.
Yeah. Oh well. Or maybe you should rip up a few comics or something like that. Who made this crap?
I could go on Rob Liefeld rants or something, or McFarlane rants, and people would click on that,
Stuff it into a cannon and fire it into the sun.
Rob Liefeld has a podcast now. It's actually pretty good. It's just the guy. It's just the guy talking about all the stuff that he liked when he was a kid.
Okay. Is it called the Can't Draw Feet podcast?
Well, when he was on Cartoonist Kayfabe last month, that was probably their best interview because they didn't have to even ask the questions. He would just start talking, and then he was talking about something else. The guy's a good communicator. He's a good salesman. That's why, even though everybody says they hate him, he's still here.
Yeah.
I can separate the art from the artist. I don't like his art. I never have. I never understood it. I don't know why he sold and got so much work. But I got no problem with the guy himself. I mean, I've never met him. And, anybody who has any kind of notoriety or fame, people are going to hate. A lot of people are just going to hate them, even if they've never met them. I've heard this about the guy. He's a jerk. It's like, well, I don't know him. Maybe he's a really good guy.
But like you were saying in one of your videos the other day, sometimes you don't know why some people make it really. I think a lot of it probably to do with how they've portrayed themselves. Some people probably portray themselves more and get their name out there more, and somehow it's like, why is Neil Adams super high up, and like his comics, like if he's drawn the cover for some bizarre reason, they're worth 5 times issue on either side of him, whereas Jim Aparo is hardly you can buy them just at normal kind of prices when his art is also bloody awesome.
It is interesting what the public really wants. I feel the same way about McFarlane. I never understood his art. I never understood the appeal of it. But it's like, especially at that time, you had to have a style, a very distinct style, or you just didn't get big books and you didn't get to stay on them for long. So that was really strange too. If you look at the stable back then, like Texeira, Lim, McFarlane, Liefeld, not so much Simonson, but there's just so many artists like that back then. They were the ones who got the big books. Larson, even, because he had kind of the string bean kind of look to everything. Bagley is probably the most normal looking of most of those big guys. So it was just so strange. Like the solid workman type artists could not get a big book or stay on a run for long. But you got these guys who have, I would call questionable, chops, but they have a really distinct style, and that's the one that got all the work. So it was very strange dynamic back then.
Because they got rid of the house style. The house style was when nobody cared about who was drawing, and as soon as they start pushing the names and everybody cares about it, guys like Herb Trimpe or whatever. The guys who didn't have any style. Anyone could do their job. You always knew it was always one of the fill-in guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think George Perez would have got work in the early '90s with Marvel. I'm just saying that was the style was completely overwhelming the overall quality of the book. I think it was very strange. And comic books were sold so much. I don't know if you guys were collecting back then. That was it. That's all anyone cared about was the cover artist, and that was what sold the book. So you had a McFarlane book hit the stands next month, $30 behind the freaking counter. It was just like that everywhere, and it was such a weird time for collecting.
I don't know. I don't know, because I was collecting like on my own. I never had any friends who collected or anything like that. But I never cared about who was doing the art. Or who was writing the books. To me, it was always about the character. If I liked the character, I want every single story that they were in, and I wanted to follow that comic book until it was finished. That was how I always was with my comics.
Yeah. And the comics that we had were anthologies. They published Marvel and DC in anthologies. We didn't have them in Portugal. We had to import them from Brazil, and since they were all anthologies, it really didn't matter who was doing them, because sometimes I'd like a writer-artist combo, and then all of a sudden I noticed, the guy isn't here anymore. But it also didn't matter who was doing the cover, because sometimes they'd make up covers by chopping up art bits from one story and then from another, so they can have 4 different characters on the cover, and that only ended in the late 80s.
I mean, and it's so funny, and we still kind of fall into that. Like, if you hear people talk about, I think it was Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, like 347, 348, when Venom was making the big splash. It's like, does everyone remember 347? You know, the big Eric Larson covers. That's what they say, the Eric Larson Venom covers. You know, they don't say what the actual story was about, like Venom being trapped on an island or Spider-Man being trapped on the island with Venom fighting for his life. It was a cool two-parter, but everyone just talks about the cover, man. Look at what was it? Hulk 181 cover. We did a review on that, but there was an interesting story within it too. You know, it was a big circle with Wendigo and Wolverine and all that. So it was kind of interesting.
I actually read that for the first time.
Did you? Yeah.
It was it was in an issue where they published the Wolverine meets the Punisher with Jim Lee art when back when he was doing Punisher World Journal. Mm-hmm. Then they filled the rest with the Wolverine's first appearance on the Hulk. So it was quite an interesting reading experience.
Some of the covers that got really big, like affection for, I think are rubbish. Like that Hulk one where you Hulk. So the Wolverine is reflected in, or Hulk is reflected in Wolverine's claws. His claws just look completely off whack to me in that one. It looks like it's like some kind of weird optical illusion. Like, which way are his claws pointing? Are they pointing backwards towards him? Or which way are the blades facing? That kind of thing. It's just like really weird.
Yeah, we reviewed that book. That was the McFarlane cover book, of course. Like I said, it's I don't know, just a weird dynamic, man. Like you mentioned the Punisher vs. Wolverine. That was Punisher World Journal 6 and 7. Same thing. Mm-hmm. Everyone remembers the covers. Does anyone know the story of that book? It was very interesting. Punisher takes a vacation into the jungle. That's where the story comes from. And there's like this cheetah poaching group that Wolverine's chasing, and they come in together and mistake and fight each other over 2 issues. So.
Well, there was a bit of a conservationist message in there, which kind of, because of the dinosaur. It's a local legend that there's a dinosaur still living in the Congolese jungle. Mm-hmm. It's actually real. It's not. It was made up for the comic. But it was interesting because they kind of drew Jim Lee knew how to draw the dinosaurs. Although I think that he only did. Finishes. I didn't do the main art on that one.
I don't know if Potts was still doing
Carl Potts was doing the layouts. Yeah,
layouts. That's right. And then Lee was doing the finishes. Yeah, that was the best art I think on any comic series that Marvel did, especially back then. I just love it. Up to about issue I think 18, they were working together. So and it's just incredible stuff in and out of the books.
Yeah, I bought the TPB. I have it around here somewhere. Because I wanted to just have all of those. They used to appear Punisher used to appear in an anthology which didn't have main characters, but basically it was Punisher and Daredevil.
I got a couple of their fights, the different ones. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, the interesting thing, and we're talking about Jim Lee too, is I think he was one of the few guys that deserved the hype. You know, he had talent. He had a little bit of style, but it wasn't out there. He was a little more old school, I think, in his approach to drawing, but he was just so damn good, you know. But he deserved all the work he was getting in the hype. So I don't hate everybody.
I don't remember liking Jim Lee that much, to be honest. He's decent, but I don't know. I think it was something to do with the paper stock as well that I didn't think I liked in the 90s in Marvel. Mm. But when he sort of came in the event and like there was a lot of McFarlane, I don't know, just some of the 90s. Early 90s, something about Marvel just completely turned me off. It just seemed like I didn't like the art so much. I didn't like the stories so much. And I just completely quit Marvel for DC in the early 90s.
Well, when the Image guys left, there was really a real void in the first issues of X-Men and X-Force. After that, man, they just got the worst villains possible. I remember Uncanny X-Men with Rurik Tyler. And X-Force had a guy, Mark Pacella, I think. Yeah, the guy wanted to be a Liefeld clone. So until they got Greg Capullo, he kind of suffered. But on Adjectiveless X-Men, they kind of looked out because there was this new kid, it's Joe Kubert's kid, Andy. Let's give him a tryout, and that one actually worked.
It was
the Kubert kids and Jim Lee had something in common because that helped them with drawing because they had medical drawing training. They knew actual
anatomy and all.
Yeah.
See, I was already collecting by that point. I think around the death of Superman is when I got out of comic books. So, but yeah, man, I don't think it could be understated how big a vacuum that was when basically Marvel lost their entire stable of artists all in one fell swoop like that. And so it's amazing they survived through it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. that was like an artist revolution, wasn't it? Really, so like pushing for more and more pay and like to be more individualistic and getting away from the house style, whatever you're talking about. And then I don't know how they decided to come up with that. Well, I just thought they just got together like behind. Did Marvel have any inkling it was happening, or was it like secret meetings behind closed doors? Did it ever came out?
They usually tell that story a lot in the. It's been written down, and they had a few meetings amongst themselves. They had to convince Jim Lee to get on board. Then Rob Liefeld had to convince the other guys that Jim Valentino was worth bringing along, because Valentino was the only guy that knew how to produce and publish a comic. Because before he was at Marvel, he came from Renegade Press. He had worked with Dave Sim, and he had his own comic called Normal Man, which was a parody comic. And if they were going to be on their own, they needed somebody who knew how to talk to the presses. Of course, the first issues were published by Malibu, and Malibu came up with the Ultra. Malibu had canceled their comics. They launched Image. Then the Image guys left, and what are we going to do now? Oh, let's make our own superhero universe. And that's how they came up with the Ultraverse.
Oh.
I think that wasn't the main reason for the split, though. Just completely ownership of characters and IP, I believe, is really all it was. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're getting residuals off any of that. I assume they have to get some, but I think it got tired of bringing all these characters people were collecting to the books and getting no extra money for it.
Yeah.
But see, I've never really read any Image, so I don't even know how good the quality. You think the quality would be good? I don't know, but.
They were all right for a while. I say that. I collected a few, but after you collected for a while, you suddenly sort of thought to yourself, actually, these are really crap. It kind of suddenly dawned on you when, like, all the nice art and all that, and then you suddenly thought, this story is confusing, and they don't seem to, doesn't seem to know where it's going or what it's doing, and it's just like, I just kind of like stopped buying them. I think the one I lasted with the longest was Savage Dragon, because it was reasonably fun.
Mm-hmm. But like Overeasy said here, they were the first ones to use glossy paper, and they wanted to use the glossy paper. They wanted to take advantage of the computer coloring, and that's why all the prices went up. They were the first to do $1.95 comics.
Scam.
I don't know. It's just interesting. When I think it's a good example of the art doesn't make the book. The art accents the book and it makes it better, but it doesn't make the book solely. I mean, you can have a great artist working on a book, and if the story sucks, no one cares. Eventually they will get tired of it.
When you suddenly realize there's lots of pretty pictures, but there's no depth to it, and no kind of like, no driving force of the story to it, you suddenly think yourself, it's very pretty, but it's vacuous, it's empty, it's like a supermodel or something like that. It's gorgeous on the outside, but then you realize there's nothing going on behind the eyes. And it's like, it's not quite so interesting anymore.
And I think Jim Lee figured it out, because after a while, he got Chris Claremont and then James Robinson to work on the stories, and he started building up the universe, which was important. Well,
they didn't seem to like gel very well with each other, like for crossovers now, did they? It seemed very kind of like erratic and chaotic, their crossovers, to me.
Yeah, but ultimately that was best not to have that many crossovers, because at first they appeared in each other's titles. They were cross promoting. There was an idea that they were gonna
they swapped titles for 1 month, didn't they?
Yeah, but they were free to ask to have the other guys appear on the other characters appear on their comics and stuff. But it was best to keep, because after a while they were all doing their own thing. And Liefeld liked all the big government groups with all the funny names, and Jim Lee wanted to explore the lore a little bit. That's why when he came up with Death Blow, we wanted to go in a different direction, and Larson and McFarlane just wanted to do the one character.
Was Jim Lee Wildcats? Was Wildcats Jim Lee? Or I can't remember. Yeah. Every single team, like in Image, had a kind of like, they had a Wolverine blinking, take off. They all sort of seemed quite formulaic with them, didn't they? Have a warrior woman or something like that. They all kind of like had a certain,
and there was even a crossover on the Wildcats with Wildcats and Cyberforce, and basically just had the X-Men stand-ins fighting each other.
Image was such a funny creature anyway, because every artist was head of their own department too. It was like they were all in charge of different sections. Like one was the CEO, the other one was like the CFO, and it was so weird how compartmentalized it was. So that's probably the reason there wasn't a whole lot of crossovers too.
No, and the whole part of running Image was not supposed to be that important. Because Image Comics is a not-for-profit company. It exists to print the comics and to find a distributor for them. Then everybody makes a profit off their own comics. Since Jim Lee was the one doing more comics, he was the one that got the most profit. So when he sold out to DC,
it's like an umbrella company for the individual studios, because they all sort of it seemed like they all broke into their own studios, or all had their own studio names, and then a lot of these will split up as well from under Image, haven't they? That Wildstorm went off and got sold to DC in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, and Top Cow tried when they were trying to kick Liefeld out, because Liefeld created another company called Maximum Press, where he had his own another character for that called Evangeline, and he got did some Battlestar Galactica comics, but they accused him of funneling Image money to Maximum Press, and that's why they kicked him out. And if they didn't kick him out, Silvestri was going to leave, and Silvestri was getting rid of the superheroes, and he was and already launched Witchblade, and he was about to launch the Darkness, so he could have gone on his own. So in the end, they got rid of Liefeld. Silvestri came back, but he sold a controlling interest. I think there's a video game company owns Top Cow.
Okay.
I really like Silvestri's work. What was that on X Factor he did back in?
No, he was first Uncanny, then Wolverine.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, he replaced John Romita Jr. on Uncanny X-Men. Then he went off to do Wolverine with Larry Hama, and Jim Lee replaced him on an X-Men. Wilcie Portacio was the one doing X Factor.
X Factor, yeah.
What was his Image book? Was it Team 7?
Wetworks.
Oh, Wetworks, right. I've forgotten all about that one.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked Wilson too. He had the kind of long torso and the long body look and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And all their names, I can't remember any of the names of any of the characters anymore. They're all kind of a match of a matchness, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Blood, this and...
After Valentino stopped doing Shadowhawk, I bought something else that he was doing back when Valentino became publisher. Because then he brought in a lot of guys from the indies to do not superhero stuff, like the Replacement God and what was they had already republished Bone, so they wanted to have other genres. And Valentino did a semi-autobiographical comic, A Touch of Silver, which I actually enjoyed very much, but I canceled it after issue number 6, and it was a shame.
Okay. Slim's saying that Wills Portacio did Wetworks.
Yeah.
So not Mark Silvestri then?
No, Mark Silvestri was Top Cow. Wilcie Portacio went from X Factor to do Wetworks. Silvestri was Top Cow. He did Cyberforce.
Cyberforce, right. They all had someone with claws, though. Every single one of them teams had someone with claws.
Yeah, sure and the guy was called Ripclaw.
Yeah.
Oh,
dear.
At least the Wildcats guy was called Warblade.
Yeah. Gen 13. Yeah, I didn't really read Gen 13 much. Razor Claw. Yeah. I know the name Gen 13, but I didn't really read a great deal of them. Got Team DV8. I can't remember. I think I got about 24 issues of DV8, but I read it once, and it's kind of like on my to sell pile because it didn't leave any lasting impression.
Yeah, DV8 was sort of Mirror Universe Gen 13. They were all bad.
Okay.
Because they were both international operations projects. John Lynch was in charge of Gen 13, and Ivana Bayul, she created DV8 after Lynch took Gen 13 away, so that they could hunt them down, and they were all mentally unbalanced. So it was a book about villains, mostly.
Right. I have to read it again, probably. Maybe I don't know. I'm not feeling it at the moment. There's plenty more.
But Warren Ellis wrote it. That's when he became well known with DV8, and he went on to do Stormwatch, and from that The Authority.
Yeah, Authority is pretty cool. Don't mind the Authority.
Although the first thing he did that I liked was Doom 2099. That was just amazing.
I've never read it. I've got number 1 of that, Doom 2099. It's in my to sell pile.
Those were some interesting stories, the 2099 series. I have the Punisher, of course. The Hulk one's got interesting. Was that the first appearance of the Maestro? Was
No,
2099's?
no. Maestro appeared in a mini series with George Perez art.
Okay, but yeah, 29 had some interesting storylines. It was
I
all
like
short-lived.
Ghost Rider because it was kind of separate from all the other ones, and it was about cyberspace and existing in a virtual environment.
So it's Ghost in the Machine Rider kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No pun intended.
I'm trying to collect the Spider-Man 2099 because I've got a few in a mystery box, and I thought, well, I've got a few now. I might as well see if I can get the rest of them together. But I'm not in any rush to complete that run. There's another one of those ones that you used to see in the blinking cheap bins all the time, or the 2099, and now you don't see them at all, unless you go and buy them from eBay.
Well, they keep bringing Spider-Man 2099 back in one form or another, but people don't seem to be interested in reading new stories with the concept, and there's also no point in rebooting 2099. It was that thing then, and the best would be to have all the stories available so that everybody can read them, especially when it's more interconnected. There's a couple of crossovers that were made across the entire lineup.
There's first one was Spider titles though. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They should just do 2100 and make a new series, you know.
Okay, my phone's ringing. I'm probably going to have to leave because I have to pick up my mom from the supermarket. So see you guys later.
Yeah, don't leave us sitting there. Don't leave us stranded there.
And then there was two.
Yeah. It's like an Agatha Christie blinking horror. Who's going to be next?
One of us has to survive. Who else is going to tell the tale?
I've got the scissors.
Oh, you want me to start getting my shop objects from around here?
Yeah, no,
you've on my desk even.
You've probably got guns and crap.
Oh yeah,
in a cupboard. Yeah, bazookas and all kinds of stuff.
Just within arm's reach, I got this right here.
Yeah,
so, I'll see your scissors. I think I got another.
No. You Americans love your weapons. I got to say, yeah. You love your weapons. Yeah,
it's our national pastime. One of them.
Yeah, seems to be.
Oh yeah, I had this one too. So aha.
Is that
there we go. So I got a couple here.
Yeah. So even like flick knives and lock knives are both illegal in the UK.
Yeah, I heard they were trying to pass a ordinance and a law. They couldn't have any sharp tips on any knives. Is there any truth to that?
I have no idea. I don't follow it. I've not heard it. But you can't stab people if it hasn't got a sharp tip, I suppose. But,
supposedly, but so no flip knives, huh?
No, flick knives are illegal, and some of the knives that lock in place as well. Yeah, fair enough. I don't tend to walk around with those anyway, but there you go. So, what's you've done the Nightmare on Elm Street? What's your comic cover of the week this week?
I haven't actually posted it. I'll give you a sneak preview because it's no big deal. But this Marvel Age book, I really like this. Action pose from Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
I really dig it.
He's looking like he's stolen Spawn's cloak.
I know, it's huge, isn't it? Or like Cloak from Cloak and Dagger. But it's just funny. You never see him in like an attack pose. He's either casting a spell or falling backwards. I like this one. Looks like he's charging the reader. So I kind of dig that. So I think that's gonna be my next selection.
I'm getting cloak envy.
But I need to get done and post it. But I still have one more Nightmare on Elm Street movie to do. I got to do the 2010 remake, and so
I forgot there were so bloody many of them. To be honest,
me too. It gets hard to finish the series.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like I like horror movies, but I've never been like massively like to buying loads of them and knowing every kind of thing that goes on with them.
The
Zyro Onig.
I still got to try to find Brain Scan, Dead Alive, because that one. The last time I looked at it, it was $25 just to buy the damn thing. I was used, so I don't get it.
Splash page: you can own a spoon, but not a spook. Yeah, spooks are too deadly. We don't have none of that stuff. I've read one or two Simpsons comics. Some of the covers were quite good. Some of the parody covers that Simpson comics had were pretty fun, and the Radioactive Man and stuff like that.
Oh, if you like horror, then I love Disney and comics. I have a couple of horror series where I review all the franchises. I did all the Friday the 13th, and I'm just about finished with all the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Yeah, you do lots of horror on your channel. What about your live? You were doing some live collaborations. You only did like one or two of them. Are you not going to be doing any of them in the future?
Which collabs?
We was all chatting about your 5 favorite movies or 5 favorite horrors or something like that. I can't remember now.
I do have some more lined up, and I got some people kind of waiting in the wings. Like one guy is moving, so he can't do the live streams yet until he gets that internet squared away. And another couple guys are trying to get better cameras, so it's in the works. It's in a holding pattern until they're all ready to go. Maybe they're just trying to shine me on. They don't want to live stream with me. I don't know, but so. I need to live stream more. That's one thing I need to do more on channels live stream because it gets you a lot more view time because people tend to watch those longer.
Can do, yeah. I get more views on my gaming than I do on any comic stuff that I do. Just random. I might just sit there for like 3 or 4 hours playing a game, and I look at it. It's got like 50 views or something like that. Whereas like my videos at the moment, I've done about 4 videos in one day, and between them, they're lucky to get 60 views. You know what I mean? Between the 4, so you just got to keep plugging away. As long as you're having fun.
I can't really watch your streams too often because usually I'm at work when you're doing them. So
yeah, I don't expect people to watch listening to it. Basically, I was just like, when it comes to that gaming, it's like I'm going to be playing the game anyway, so I might as well stream it. If anyone wants to watch it, then fair enough. That's all good. I think that helped me to get the hours up as well to be able to monetize again.
I just been in a non-gaming mood the last couple of years. It's like I get to I play some Destiny or whatever and a few other things online. And I agree, if you're going to be playing the game anyway, you can also get online and live stream it. But I just haven't had the motivation. Maybe if a new Batman game out or something, I like playing those.
Being told to cut the beard. Cut the beard.
No, cut your beard at 2,000 subs. Wait, make them earn it.
No, I can't. I've already promised a striptease at 2,000 subs.
Oh,
you remember when I did my 1K sub dance? I said at the end, that when I get to 2K, I'll do a striptease.
I should probably. I was gonna say I was reading. I love Disney and comics. I should probably be live streaming Fallout 4 too, because I never bothered to finish that game. I always get sidetracked with side quests and that, but some people watch yours, so I guess maybe I could do that.
What's that, Fallout? Did you say?
Fallout 4. I play that one a lot too. So
I don't even bother with the missions. I don't even really bother with the missions. I certainly don't do the main quest at all. I just wander around, kill things, and I feel like it builds stuff for my settlers. And if it wasn't for the building, I wouldn't play it anymore because the building is like the interesting stuff really for me.
It is.
Yeah, I like to make little houses for my people.
I don't mind micromanaging games, but that one's just too much micromanaging with having to defend the colonies yourself and all that too. It's just ridiculous.
That can be a bit much. At least they could do something for themselves, you think?
It's like, I built you laser turrets, for goodness sake. Why do you need me? But I still have to go every time,
Yeah, splash page is saying 2,000 subs the next day, 100 subs after striptease. I think you'll find that when I do the striptease at 2K, my subs will quadruple. I'll be up the next day. I'll be in the million mark, mate. Millions. The sky's the limit.
It could be.
I doubt it.
Oh man, what was it? Was it JPL or? Yeah, JPL. I haven't seen him do videos in quite a while. Fellow Brit of yours.
JPL Flash. Yeah.
Yeah, he was at like 400 something subs for a long time, and then like within 2 days, he had hit like 1,200 subs. It was ridiculous because
he got some. It took off some reason, didn't it? Something he put in the tags or something, wasn't
it? It was, I don't know if he did it or the algorithm did it by accident, but it tied his channel in with what's that Korean group? I
don't remember.
Gangnam Style, whatever that is. That song that's real popular for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It got tied in, so he just jumped up like overnight, like almost 1,000 subs. It was crazy. Wow. I need to have something like that happen to my video.
I was thinking of doing something like that actually. I looked on. I went to Wikipedia and a list of the most watched videos on. Why am I holding these scissors? I got something. But I'll go back to playing with my beard. It's right. It's like the list of the top 10 most viewed videos on YouTube, and I was thinking of putting the titles of all those as tags in my video to see if it actually did anything. If it actually put I might do that as a I don't know, like a scientific experiment one day. Or maybe in my next blog, I'll put the names of all the top 10 most viewed videos in the tags for it and see if it actually explodes.
I've been putting lots more tags than I used to in my videos. I don't know if it helps or not, but I always try to keep relevant. I guess I could start putting irrelevant ones in there and see what happens. But
I've stopped bothering. I just copy and paste from the last video. So even like I'll be posting like all these different superhero names, and it just might not be what I showed off that week or that day. But it's just like, oh, who cares? Does it actually help? And I quite often will get stupid and put things like boobies and naked girls bending over or stuff like that. Just anything stupid that pops into my head as I was putting the tags in.
Yeah, I just want to be careful about like clickbait and all that because I think a person might sub up real quick, realize it's not what you do, and then just get pissed and unsub you. So
that don't matter, does it? They come and go all the time anyway.
No.
Zyra was asking if I've got the platinum trophy. I don't think I've got any trophies on Fallout. I don't really sort of go after the trophies, and because they've got mods now, and I've got a few mods, you can't get any trophies when you're doing the mods. So I haven't got the platinum trophy.
I think I have 100% platinum trophy on PS3, and that's a game called Savage Moon. And
I never played that one.
That's a really fun. It's like a tower defense game. I love games like that. So it's a fun. It was like I think a $10 game or something I bought online. It's online only.
Yeah,
so.
I used to be like massive gamer, play loads of different games, but I'd always get really irate. I've got quite a short temper when it comes to like inanimate objects, you know what I mean, and not doing what I want them to do. And I used to just get and I'd like nearly crushed my controller kind of thing. And I was playing this game, I could see what had to happen. For some reason, I didn't seem to want to do it, and I was just like, you know what, this is just annoying me. I'm gonna put it down, and I stopped playing for about 2 months without playing. And then after that, I just play games that I know I can do easily without getting frustrated about. Basically. So like Fallout, it's easy. Just going to VATS and kill some stuff.
That's cheating. That's God mode.
That don't bother me. And like Skyrim, it's pretty easy to chop people up in Skyrim. Even dragons, you can beat. So just because like I enjoy them for just having a bit of fun, just doing a bit of exploring in the game without getting frustrated. If the game frustrates you, gets on your nerves, then it's not. I just can't bother with it anymore.
No,
so
never play Gradius then.
No, I just play Fallout 4 and Skyrim. That's it. Until they bring out new versions of those, I'm not going to be bothered buying any new games.
I'd like to be able to stream some of my older games, but I don't really have the ability to do that. So
you must have the technology. You've been getting all the bells and whistles you've got there. All the equipment you've got, you must be able to do it, surely.
I got to figure out how to plug my old PS1 and 2 in and make it work. I don't know. Maybe a newer smart TV can do it, but I don't have a newest smart TV,
No, I'm not too sure how these things would work. Can you not like plug it into your computer and mirror the image of the TV screen onto your computer and stream that directly?
I don't know. I should look it up and do it, but like I said, I don't have a ton of time for gaming anyway, so.
No, it's probably something really easy. But that's how I remember your channel. Your channel used to be nothing but Hearthstone. Yeah,
I used to play a lot of Hearthstone. That's easy because I can do it right from the computer,
Yeah, got no idea. I used to be like me coming and watching you play Hearthstone for about an hour every night. I don't think you ever did anything else at that point. Did you ever do anything else at that point?
That was the vast majority because I was already burnt out, and that was easy to do, Yeah. It's easy to release that content.
I've no idea how I came to be subbed to you then, because it was like I didn't play Hearthstone. I wasn't looking for Hearthstone tips, but somehow I was subbed to you and watching you play Hearthstone and putting silly comments in like twatting with a chicken and stuff like that. Or
cool, over easy. I'll check that out because I wouldn't mind. I have so many good retro games. Like I do a retro review of older games on my channel as well, but I don't really have any gameplay, so I'd like to do that actually. So let me look that up.
Over Easy Mo's going to link all these videos to K-pop. Not a bad idea. Maybe you could sing a K-pop outro to every one of your videos.
Aren't they like a government freaking like mandated group or something like that? Where aren't they like virtually slaves or whatever? And they actually have to go out and perform and make
what is it?
look like they're happy.
North Korean K-pop, is it?
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't. Oh.
Yeah, it's all J-pop, K-pop. They're all big in America and the UK now, aren't they? I think the kids. It's what the kids are into nowadays. Have a great weekend, Grey Man Genome. Got to get ready for work. Buy the Grey Box. Yeah, good point. Buy the Grey Box.
Have a good day at work there, Slim.
Yeah, don't work too hard, mate. Is it early there? Then what is it? Saturday, Sunday? Working on a Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know.
Throw down your tools, Slim. Throw down your tools. Fight the power, mate. Fight the power. Power to the people.
Because I don't remember if it was what was
King Jong Pop.
It was either I think Mexico. What was their boy band or whatever they had for years? It's always rotating. Like once a person gets to a certain age, they replace them with somebody else. So they never age. I can't remember the name of it, but they're
I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
There's one band that really kind of makes me laugh. It's a heavy metal band for kids from Finland, and it's called Heavy Saurus. And it's guys in dinosaur outfits singing heavy metal hard rock music for kids in Finnish. But there's also a South American brand of Heavy Saurus called like a similar name, but like a slight Spanish tint to the name, like Heavy Sorius or something like that. And I think they sing the same songs, but in Spanish. It's quite.
See, over Easy's got it. It's Menudo, and they've been around forever. Like here in the States, the boy bands or whatever, they start getting in their mid-20s, and people stop listening to them, right? And then so they have to find a new group. They don't just evolve, but those groups like that and K-pop, they evolve. They just put new people in slowly, you know.
They don't harvest the organs of the old members, do they? And put them into new younger people. Like move the brain and vocal cords out of one body, stick it into another body.
I wouldn't doubt it, man, because I don't know. Propaganda is a strong thing, so they probably kill them. You know, it's like the old designers of the castles when they built the secret rooms. You know, after they got done building the castle, they just used to
wall
kill
them in,
you
wall them in, or something, stick them in the dungeon. Yeah, that's interesting. Basically, propaganda. Apparently, the government funds all the big entertainment companies in Korea. So yes, it's basically propaganda. Oh wow, that's interesting. We just have the Eurovision Song Contest, which is kind of like cruelty to people, some kind of psychological experiment that went wrong. I think the Eurovision Song Contest. Do you ever watch that over there?
No.
No, it's more Eurocentric, hence the name Eurovision. But
yeah, well, it's not just that. I just don't watch any. I really don't watch TV, and I don't care about those music programs. I'm not into pop music, so
yeah, no. But
we had a lot of that stuff back, like especially back in the 80s. We had Star Search and all that, and then it progressed into what. American Idol, whatever that was, then it opened up a whole new door of that nonsense. But
beauty pageants for blinking 8-year-olds over there, didn't you?
No, don't even get me started.
Strange.
Don't. I'm not going to talk about it. But let's say they do some very questionable things over here that I don't agree with. So
yeah.
But I'll tell you, one of the best ones we used to have for music though back in the day was actually Hee Haw. Look that up, man.
Hee Haw.
It was a ridiculous like Southern country comedy kind of show, but they had great artists. They had like Jerry Reed on there, Roy Clark. If you want to see a man shred a guitar, watch Roy Clark or Jerry Reed. These are country guys, right? And it's just incredible. But
country only counts if they yodel. If they don't yodel, I'm not interested.
Like Tex Ritter kind of yodeling.
Yeah, all yodeling. Yodeling is in country music. It has to be done. I don't know. Otherwise, it's just cheating. It's just letting down your audience if you're not yodeling.
Yeah, wasn't Ricky Martin in New Kids on the Block? I see them talking about that there in chat. I know he was one of those big boy bands.
He said it's Menudo. He says Menudo gave us Ricky Martin. The one you were talking about earlier, Battle of the Banjo. Headbangers Ball on the weekends on MTV.
That was a big deal. Yeah. What was it? Ricky Rathman or whatever his name was the host, I think.
I didn't like Headbangers Ball. It was all the bands were all too soft for my taste. So it was just like, more bloody hair metal. Screw that.
And there was
Glam
Pinfield
bands.
too. Matt Pinfield, I think it was.
It'd be one decent band like every 2 hours or so.
But it was what it was.
Music television without the music, apparently. Yeah, that was a big. Well, yeah, we've got some kind of like trends, haven't you, in TV, like reality TV and the TV of people like trying to become famous as musicians or whatever. We've got. We're kind of in the golden era for us because you've got lots of superhero related TV shows. So I mean, the bubble on that will burst eventually. Probably we've got so many at the moment. You can't even keep up with them even if you want to. But yeah. I'd much rather have an overabundance of superhero-related media than a dearth or whatever the opposite of abundance is.
I said that in my last movie review, like on Freddy vs. Jason. It was like because we all wanted the big fight back in the 80s, right? That's all what we all talked about. We wanted it done. Yeah. And I said in the video, I'm glad they didn't do it because the technology wasn't there, the budget wasn't going to be there. It would look awful, and we would have got a terrible product. So same with the superhero thing. Even though I'm not usually crazy about them. At least we have them, and they have the opportunity to make them in mass. So there's got to be something that someone's going to like, right?
Yeah, I'd tend to like most of them, to be honest, because I kind of like taught myself to just forget about the things that I don't like about them and just concentrate on the bits that I did like. It's so easy. Just if you want to find things to dislike in the movie that's not exactly as it is in the comic book, you'll find 100 million of them. Yeah. But if you just try not to concentrate on that and just concentrate on the bits that to you, are as they should be from the comics, and I find that as a path to happiness.
Yeah,
like a Zen approach to watching.
It's very Taoist. What is, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Except you cannot change it.
It was interesting. Like when we did that graders notes on Punisher, the Punisher movie from '89 last time. It's like I graded it fairly high, like a 3.5. It's like, look, it's not.
I quite liked it. I watched that at the cinema. That one.
Yeah, it's not accurate at all to the comics, but it was still a fun movie, and we got a Punisher movie, you know, so it's better than.
Yeah, the little skull on the end of his knife as well.
Mm-hmm. It was there.
That was a nice touch.
So.
I think he even dyed his hair black, didn't he? Did he not dye his hair black for that? Yeah. That's accurate.
They had to dye his beard and all that too.
It's 100% accurate.
Because he's a Nordic boy, so he's all blonde.
Yeah.
But
I quite liked Dolph Lundgren. I quite liked his movies back in the day. They were kind of like on the lower end of the action movie B kind of.
He didn't have the Schwarzenegger Stallone name, but he was the next one up, basically.
I think John Claude Van Damme was slightly above him, and then he came after that, I think. But
we used to watch his movies back, John Claude Van Damme, back in the day.
Yeah,
just for a little bit of fun. It's hard to watch now.
I don't know. Maybe Jackie Chan still does awesome movies. Back in the day, any Jackie Chan films are always good action, good laughs as well.
That's Hong Kong cinema for you, though. They have to have I saw an interview once on it. It's like the audience, because they don't have a lot of money right there, right? So that's like the national pastime, is to go see cheap movies. And Hong Kong cinema, they want like 5 different movies crammed into one. So they want comedy, they want romance, they want action, and vice versa. So they have to struggle really hard to get all that fit into one film. So I think that's why his movies have done so well, because he kind of blends all that fairly decently,
Zyro is saying countdown to Final Crisis, over 1,000 pages of what the F. I can't remember. There's so many crises now. I forget which ones are which. It's countdown to Final Crisis, the one where they killed Blue Beetle at the end of it. I didn't think that was 1,000 pages, but I can't remember what crisis was what anymore.
What's funny too is Alex there is talking about he likes most superhero movies. He's like, I'm like the one guy who probably doesn't like the MCU. I don't care for it. And it's not really because of their renditions and what they're changing in the movies. I just don't care for their formula. And it's all completely the same. There's no gravity to those movies. Just when you think something should be serious. Yeah, there's always a joke. Every 2.3 minutes, there has to be a joke. It annoys me to no end. So I don't take anything serious in that series. So I like the TV stuff better than I do the movies, actually, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I'm a big DC head more than a Marvel head, but I think the Marvel movies are like elevated, like in people's consciousness, far higher than they should be, and the DC movies are like put down further than they should be. I think the DC movies are better than what most people say, and the Marvel movies aren't quite as good as a lot of people say. You know what I mean? I think there's I don't know. I think there's a deliberate bias. I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing too: is Marvel did it right. If nothing else, the Marvel MCU did this right. They introduced the characters slowly to people didn't know. Like outside of comics, no one knew who Iron Man was, for goodness sake, and he wasn't exactly an A-lister either in comics. But everyone knew who Captain America was or Thor was. So, but they released like independent small films and got you to know them. And in those films, they introduced you to a few other characters before they built the actual Avengers team or whatever. So they did it in a very slow, methodical way, which made sense. Where DCE, everyone knows Superman, Batman. Who else do they know? Who does the normie know about? So they did not release it well because they had wasn't Justice League like the 4th movie or 5th movie, whatever in the DCU.
I don't remember.
People don't know who a Martian Manhunter. I don't think he was in it. I've never seen it.
No, he wasn't in it.
So
the only one that was kind of new. I suppose Flash was kind of new, but he had a TV show, so I'm not sure a lot of people knew him from that. But it's like you say, it's I don't know. You don't want to begin a long origin story for every single character, though, do you?
No, but you have to know who they are. Like the only one that I like that they did well, like look at Ant-Man. My gosh, there's another character no one ever heard of outside of the hardcore, comic fan. But they introduced it well. They made him the everyman first, and then they showed him gradually come into the Ant-Man status. So now everyone knows who he is in a smart way. They didn't just throw him as Ant-Man on the screen from the very get-go, and people had no idea who he was. That probably wouldn't have worked. But so they've had a really good plan going in. I'm not really crazy about the product, but at least I think it was a smart way to release it.
I can't even remember now what happened in the what do you call it? The Justice League movie. I remember I enjoyed it though when I finally got back to watching it because I didn't get to see it in the pictures. I got it on DVD and I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed it, but I'm just happy to see the action and see the characters like looking like they're like vaguely like the comic books and fighting criminals.
Justice League is hard to make a movie for, I think, because if people knew like their power set, it's very hard to put anyone against the Justice League, right? Because look at the powerhouses on that team. They're so much more powerful than the Avengers or any other big teams in Marvel, you know. They're basically cosmic level, a lot of that team is. So it's kind of hard to write a bad guy for that.
But if you look at the comic books, though, the power levels of the characters just change depending on the situation. If they need them to get knocked out suddenly, they'll find a way to suddenly knock them out or delay them somehow, even though, like in another comic, they would instantly not be affected by that. You know, the rules change hard and fast depending on what they need for the story.
Yeah, it's like they overpowered, like for instance, and even in Marvel does this too, like MCU, they overpowered Captain America so much they had him going like one-on-one with Loki, for goodness sake. Loki would wipe the floor with Captain America in the comics, but they had to make it look like he was holding his own, you know. And I'm a huge Cap fan, by the way, but it's like, so it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes when they do stuff like that. It
always makes me laugh as well when they bring in a character and he's super tough and he can wipe the floor of the team, but it's like diminishing returns. When he comes back next time, he's just like cannon fodder. It's like they beat, you know what I mean? He gets beaten up by the giant robots in X-Men, what are called the Seekers.
Oh, Sentinels.
Sentinels. When they first came along, they were supposed to be able to adapt to any attack. So every time you knock one down, next time it came back, you wouldn't be able to kill it the same way. I'm sure that was what the story was. But Wolverine just chops up like 5 or 6 of them before breakfast. You know what I mean? Without any worries.
Was it Days of Future Past when the Sentinels actually became pretty threatening at the very beginning of the movie? That was kind of cool when they came and wiped out all the mutants. But yeah, you're right, man. This problem happens in comics too. How do you write a bad guy for Superman? You have to make someone stronger, so you have to keep making stronger and stronger villains to fight, Superman or Green Lantern or whoever.
But Superman comics, though, for me, were never boring. Now, people say, "Oh, he can't be defeated," so they were boring. But there was always something like Kryptonite, or there's stories with the backup characters which would be interesting and keep the interest going. Does Paolo come back? I think Paolo's has popped back. He must have picked up his mum. Let's add him to the stream. He saw we were still here.
And you're still going.
Come to revive us.
Oh yeah. Oh, where are you going? We're going. We can talk. If nothing else, we can talk for quite a while. I love Disney comic. Aquaman's a joke for a long time, and that's true, man. Like I was like only Aquaman fan back in like the '80s. You know what I mean? He had a bunch of relaunches that no one's bought, but
yeah. I liked Aquaman. I got quite a few of his series, but he was done really well and has been made very interesting in that film. He did come across really well in those movies. He's different. He's not the Aquaman from the comic books, but he looks pretty cool.
I remember an Aquaman miniseries from the mid '80s where they gave him a blue costume.
Yeah,
that looked interesting, but I think most fans at the time they were not happy. They liked the orange and green. Yeah.
And it was interesting in the Legend of Aquaman series. It was a small mini as well. When they kind of relaunched him, we come to find out that the Aquaman costume was actually his prison uniform when he was locked away.
That's when you did a greatest notes on, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the ones I haven't got because I remember seeing that. I haven't got that one.
Yeah, so he kept that. That was kind of cool, I thought. But
sure, there's another character like that.
So, Paulo, what's your idea? What's your thoughts on comic book movies and TV in general?
I hate them.
Yeah.
You need to be more zen, mate. You need to be more zen.
No, I don't really care. The last one I saw at the cinema was Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw a couple of them on TV, but Guardians of the Galaxy has some jokes, but whatever.
Yeah. Is Iron Man 3 the one where they made the Mandarin? Is that the one? Is that Iron Man 3? A lot of people did not like that, did they? A lot of people were like, oh, what have they done to the Mandarin? They turned it. It's just like, oh, relax, guys. They're not your comic books. They're just,
And after that, I watched The Lone Ranger, and okay, no, I'm done with Hollywood.
$200 million mistake that was, right? But
Bond.
And I was a big fan of the Lone Ranger cartoon back in the day.
I remember the original TV show. I don't know if it's the original one, but I remember when I was a kid. When I say remember it, I remember there was one. I remember there was one. I couldn't tell you anything about it, but I remember vaguely, "Hi ho, silver away!" And that's what I can remember from being a kid. It's
how many actual like revamped movies have actually sold? Did The Shadow frickin' sell? Did Rocketeer sell? Did Laurel and Hardy sell? Did the Three Stooges sell? None of it works because no one cares about that stuff anymore, and they got to get that through their head. I think they're just so like intellectually bankrupt. That's all they can come up with is just a rehash and hope that they'll get some nostalgia money.
Did the
Sometimes
Rocketeer
they work, but
Did the new Rocketeer come out already? I didn't notice.
Oh, I don't know.
talk about the one from the 80s or 90s. That
No,
one.
but they were doing a reboot for
right.
that was supposed to come out one of these years.
I remember the TV show King of the Rocket Men. I don't know if is that the same guy who is the Rocketeer, King of the Rocket Men?
It's based on because he used all those images of Rocket Man that came from pop culture in the 50s and merged them all into one character who was the embodiment of pulps.
Yeah, they even tried Dick Tracy, and that might have broke even. I don't know. That was just such a huge marketing blitz that it.
Yeah, I thought it was a crappy movie. That
yeah, so it's just it's
didn't
not
know
going to
that
happen.
much.
I mean, people don't want that nostalgia in that way. I don't think anymore. And
I thought The Shadow was a good movie. I have no idea what it did in the box office. Though. I enjoyed The Shadow. I thought it was pretty cool.
I don't think it did well at all. What's that? Alec Baldwin, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, one of the Baldwins. And The Phantom with Billy Zane. That was pretty decent.
The Phantom was decent, but that was it. It wasn't really good.
No.
But then again, when I think about it, I love the Phantom because when I was a kid, I used to read the comic strip on a newspaper that my dad bought. But let's really examine the concept. It's not very very good for a movie. It's not there isn't that much to it. I suppose you could try to make an interesting TV series with some mysticism in it, but a movie with the Phantom is never going to be something exceptional, and neither is The Shadow unless they want to go for full period immersion. You can't do something half-assed.
Yeah,
Nope.
Yeah, it's got to be set in that period. They can't be pulling out their mobile phones and that kind of thing.
And they really need the characters to get into it, and Alec Baldwin didn't.
No.
You just imagine The Shadow now, and it'll be like, oh, what's that on the CCTV? I don't know, some bloke hiding behind a red scarf. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
it's funny because I love Disney right there. He's talking about the Universal reboot of The Mummy and how it didn't do well, and I agree. But then you look at what was the 90s when The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser Mummy series, made a lot of money. But with that had nothing really to do with the original premise other than the Mummy being in. They turned to an action kind of bombastic movie, and it did make money. That's what people wanted to see. They don't want to see the slow burn. He might kill one person in the entire movie kind of thing, like in the old Universal Hammer days. So, but I don't know. It's people's tastes have changed. It's just a different time, and you just got to make up something new and stylish. They can get away with it.
It's hard to know what's going to sell as well, isn't it? Because obviously they think everything's going to sell and everything's going to do well. And you look at some of the movies that bombed, the big box office ones that bombed, like that Valerian, and you watch it, you think, oh, this is a good movie. It's good action, good science, good special effects, and they lose $100 million or whatever. And you just don't know what's going to be a hit and what's not.
Yeah. And they expect everything to be a blockbuster success.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, when they lose out, they lose big as well. Don't they? Absolutely lose. They lose massive. Like blinking. What's it? The Mars one. Warlord. No, was it Warlord of Mars?
John Carter.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed that.
Pretty good.
My wife loved that movie. It's one of her
favorites. And it plays well with the source material, and it has great effects. I really don't know why that one failed.
It seemed to me that they was putting it out, and they lost interest in their own movie because the publicity for it seemed to be really lackluster. It's like I never saw hardly any publicity for it. It seemed to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't go see it. Then I caught it on TV. Oh, this is good. Why didn't I go see it?
That probably is what happened. Nobody actually went to see it.
Actually, yeah. And let's say they've been revamping the old Burroughs stories and comics for quite a while too. So you think it'd get some of that, the audience, But,
and Solomon Kane was another one that people really didn't go.
Yeah. No one knew the name. I think that was the problem. It wasn't once again. It wasn't too bad a movie. Kind of like, but they just didn't know who he was. Who was this guy?
Yeah. They should have marked from the creator of Conan the Barbarian.
They got to do something to tie it in with other things, to get the public consciousness into it.
What about talking about Conan the Barbarian? The remake of that one from a few years ago. Did that do well, or is that another one that didn't really do very well?
I don't think it did well. Yeah.
No. The story is not very good. But Jason Momoa did an excellent job with what he had, and he was Conan, definitely. But the story was just too average.
And then he stole my look and did Aquaman. Terrible. He owes everything to me, that fella. I tell you. I think
he stole your look. Let's see your pack. Let's see your pecs and your six pack.
My pecs and six pack. They're resting at the moment. They're resting. No. They're taking.
They're in the fridge.
They're taking a few decades off.
No, your six pack is in the fridge.
Yeah, basically.
It's a shame about the Conan reboot, though. I think that movie could have dealt with another 30 minutes of added footage. They should have put some more, between times of Conan, because like the kid Conan was awesome. It was actually a girl, but like if you look at the opening fight or whatever from Conan, you see how savage this kid was growing up, and then he turns into the Savage Man. And I think Momoa did do a pretty good job with him. He's a little bit small for the role. I hate to say he's small, but because Conan always towered over most of his opponents or whatever.
I suppose
but he had the fighting style down, and so it was cool. But
quite as big as Schwarzenegger, is he? He's not quite as big as Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that's what people expect. But he was a lot more athletic, and like I said, his choreography was tons better. So it just didn't really get a fair shake. But it was just too jumpy. It was a really choppy movie. He went from one zone to the next with nothing in between. It was just hard to. I don't know. It was the bad guy was kind of strange with Stephen Lang, but
I don't remember it now. I don't remember it. I quite enjoyed it, but yeah. Can't remember it very well, so obviously couldn't have been that much of an impression.
No, over easy. You're wrong. Arnold is not a definitive Conan. Arnold was playing Arnold, and Jason Momoa is Conan as Roy Thomas transcribed it to the comics from the original pulps. And I've read some of those original pulp stories, and that was it. That was Conan. That was what a Witch King of Acheron would look like. That is the type of magic that Conan was up against. That was it. But the story is not there. Needs more juice.
More juice. Let's see if anyone wants to pop in and throw some more topics or whatever into the air. What other things haven't we talked about? It's like someone was. There's a contest I was looking at doing for one of the horror channels, and they're asking what's the best Tremors movie, which was the best Predator movie, and it always seems to be the first. It always seems to be the first for most franchises. It always seems to be the first one that's best. Over easy disagreeing with you. You should come on and have this discussion.
I'll say this: Arnold had the look down. He had the kind of the smoldering, grim manner about him because he didn't talk much. And you're right, Jason Momoa probably talked a little too much and smiled a little too much in his role, because about the only time Conan smiled was when he was like drinking and roistering back in the books. But
carousing.
So it was kind of weird. Like if you were just standing there in a vacuum and posing, yes, Arnold does look better for the role and seems to be better. But if you look at the action scenes from the remake, that definitely exemplified his fighting style much more than the older ones did. And some of that cinematography and advances in budget and all that too, of course. But
yeah, you would believe that Jason Momoa would be the last man standing when two armies of 10,000 soldiers went up against each other.
There was a scene in that movie, like, because Bob Sapp's in that movie. So anyone who knows who Bob Sapp is, he's this like 340-pound gigantic ex-football player and also a mixed martial arts fighter, right? Enormous guy. He's one of the bad guys. And there's a scene on the ship where they're fighting back and forth, and he's stronger than Conan, right? Then they show the scene where Conan just charges right back into him again. He's getting thrown around, he's getting beat up, he just charges right back in, and that's how Conan fights in the books. He never takes a back step. He always goes forward no matter what the odds are. So they kind of portrayed him kind of cool in little things like that in the movie.
It's too dumb to know when things are dangerous. He doesn't care. It's like the mentality of the barbarians, of like the Sumerians, is to keep going forwards, and if you die, you die. That kind of thing.
That's true. In the books, you got the third person author can tell you what he's thinking. It's like, well, if he retreats now, he's going to die anyway, so he might as well charge forward. But the viewer doesn't know that; they can't see that, so they kind of got to exemplify in other ways.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. Love Disney and comics saying Alien or Aliens 2, which is the best. I think they're so different in style that they're both the best. Because Alien is the best for being a horror movie, but Aliens is a completely different style of movie. It's just an action movie, isn't it? So it's You can make an argument for both.
And it's not just an action movie. It's very character driven. Like, every character in that movie, they all stand out. You remember them after the movie's over, which you usually don't remember that in action movies. So that's kind of cool. That'd be a hard choice. Yeah, that would be tough. Probably the more intelligent script would be the first Alien, and then probably just the more enjoyable movie's got to be Aliens. Probably, I would rather watch that than the original, because after you see the original once, it kind of loses a lot of its luster, right?
Yeah.
But the second one, it's just fun to watch. I don't know.
Once you know that Chinese meal that he's having is going to be his last, it kind of takes all the interest out of it. It's like, I know what's going to happen now.
One of your best actors ever is in it, though. Ian Holm. Oh, he didn't get enough credit. I love Ian Holm. So
he just died recently, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sir Ian Holm. I'm sorry, I forgot the title.
Yeah. We don't worry about it. Aliens is one of the best films ever. Yeah, it was a good movie. Awesome movie. More from the over easy mode. He said Arnold didn't play his Arnold. Arnold is a wise ass in his other movies. He was a smouldering, cold-hearted killer in Conan. So there's some truth in that for sure. But he was still Arnold, just a serious Arnold. This is over to you, Paolo. He was the one who addressed this in the first place.
Arnold is being more robotic when he's in action mode.
Yeah.
Jason is fluid. He's a warrior.
Yeah, fair enough. What should we talk about now then? Any other movies? Any other comic book movies? Anything? Oh, talk about comic book movie. Have you seen the Accident Man movie? The Accident Man movie, based on the Toxic character, Accident Man.
Is that a knockoff Toxic Avenger? What is that?
No. We were talking about we talked about Blast magazine earlier on. We talked about Toxic magazine as well. But you remember the Accident Man from Toxic, or did you not get? Did you not actually get any? Oh right, yeah, it was like the sort of like second best character after Martial Law in Toxic, and they made a film of that. They made it's a UK movie, but it's good action. It's really kind of close to the Accident Man from the comic book. So check that out if you get a chance. It's good action, good fight scenes. But basically, Accident Man, he was a hitman who made all his hits look like accidents. So like he'd shoot like glass from a compressed air gun into the tire of a car going past a bend, just at the right spot where it would hit the bend and spin off and crash into a person at the bus stop. And the person at the bus stop was the person he was trying to kill. So you had to make all these hits look like accidents, kind of thing. But that's a pretty cool movie based on comic books.
I still think that the best comic book adaptation ever is the French 1968 animated Asterix and Cleopatra, which nobody in the English-speaking world saw because it was in French.
Right. Was it ever translated? So it was a cartoon version, you mean?
It's a cartoon version. Animation looks very primitive.
Right.
But it's a great musical.
Musical? Okay.
Yeah. You lost me quick there.
I don't remember there being any songs in the Asterix comic books. How's that a good adaptation?
No. The Asterix comic books are specifically to it's slapstick humor with fights.
Yeah. I used to read a lot of Asterix as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Although I think that Asterix in Britain in English loses half of its fun because everybody in the French text. Yeah, it doesn't translate because everybody from Britain in the French text uses the English grammatical rule for adjective placement, which is funny in a Latin language, but you can't translate it. Oh. So I imagine that everybody is speaking like Tip Top Cheerio or something like that.
Yeah,
they made it into a live action movie around 2007. They made fun of the Asterix in Britain.
All right. There wasn't Gerard Depardieu like Obelix or something weird like that? Yeah. I don't know if I actually watched them, but I think I saw a cartoon one. Disney's asking, do you like any of the non-Marvel DC shows based on comics on Netflix, Amazon, or Hulu? What non-Marvel and DC comic shows are on those? Well, there's the Boys on Netflix in there, which is what is there? Is it not DC? Or was it like I can't remember what comic company brought that out, The Boys? I don't remember.
Yeah, Boom, I think.
That was pretty decent. It wasn't too bad.
Mm.
Lock and Key was all right. I thought it was okay. It was an interesting idea. Did you see the Lock and Key?
No, I don't pay extra for TV. If it's not on basic cable, I don't bother. Cable is already too expensive here, and adding another service.
Yeah.
But one TV channel showed the first season of Powers when it came out. Yeah, man, and everything about it just doesn't ring. Because I like the Powers comic, even though I'm tired of Bendis nowadays, but the Powers comic was actually good.
I never read that or saw the TV show, to be honest. I think the Powers TV show was only available on like PlayStation Plus or something weird like that over here. Some weird extra on. That's the thing nowadays. So many TV channels, so many streaming services. I just lose track. I don't even bother to try and watch the stuff half the time because I don't know what it's going to be. And I suddenly discovered that the Batwoman show was on a catch-up channel, like on Channel 4 catch-up. So I watched the whole season. And I quite liked that. I thought it was good. I know people were slagging it off, but I enjoyed it. And also the Harley Quinn cartoon. I watched that on there as well. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, you should always wait until those shows all get canceled, because then they're going 3 or 4 years later. They're going to be in syndication, and you can watch them at 2 p.m. or something.
Yeah, there's just so many bloody channels now. It's just ridiculous. It's like I spend most of the time watching bloody well YouTube anyway. So it's like
98% of what I watch. So
yeah. Oh dear. Luckily, we haven't got to pay a TV license for YouTube. That would be the next thing. They'd be wanting us to pay for blinking subscriptions or some crap like that, probably.
I heard that they wanted to make you pay TV licenses for the internet.
I wasn't surprised.
Maybe.
You got to pay for the BBC, right?
Yeah, we have to pay for BBC, even though nobody would hardly ever watch it. But it's ridiculous. Let's just make bloody adverts on it like they do on all the other channels. Just put bloody adverts on it and stop charging people for it. That's what I say.
It was funny because when I was doing the telecom work in Egypt, I was, in the hotel. I'm going through the channels, and the only one that had any English was BBC. So I sat there for like a week watching cricket matches and
awesome,
and absolutely fabulous. Just because I could understand them.
It's like slow baseball for you, yeah.
Oh, it was very confusing, but I guess kind of fun in a random sort of way.
Yeah, I think over easy mode is saying Pirate Bay or something like that. Is it? Watch everything on the dodgy. There's just too many bloody pop-ups and things that try and download themselves to your computer on those kind of sites.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Swamp Thing got released, so they only got one season out of it.
I heard it was being picked up again by somebody else, and also maybe even Constantine was going to be picked up yet again by somebody else. That's a long time ago now, that one. So that was a pretty decent run.
I'm pretty sure the guy who played Swamp Thing in the TV series was Derek Mears, and he was the one that played Jason in the Friday the 13th remake. Okay. Fun fact.
Possibly.
And you know who did the original Swamp Thing, who directed that? That was actually Wes Craven.
Okay.
Of Nightmare on Elm Street fame.
Yeah, I remember that original Swamp Thing movie. It wasn't good. Hell. Did they make two, though?
The whole movie was set on Adrian Barbeau running, so just so people.
I know I watched it a long time ago and never felt the need to watch it again.
It's a little hard to watch nowadays.
Yeah, Ranger Slay. Is Ranger Slay here? Yeah, Ranger Slay has a wrench. He's the only one trustworthy enough to have a wrench. All the rest of you ne'er-do-wells, I wouldn't trust you as far as I throw you. Ranger Sly, he's a stand-up guy. He's the only one who gets the wrench on my channel. So he can throw any of you scallywags off if you misbehave. Particularly you, Roger, I'm watching you. I know you're normally good and nice and kind to everybody, but one day you're going to explode and start doing strange stuff, I'm sure.
So what comic book character and or team would you like to see a movie of next? Doesn't matter which universe it's in.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of a one that would actually fit well with technology. They wouldn't have to go completely CGI on. They could use more practical effects.
I'd like to see martial law that they promised us years ago, like a really interesting negative slant on superheroes, like a subversive kind of view on the whole superhero genre kind of thing. I'm not sure if they'd get away with it though, if they tried to do like it is in the comic books. In comic books is one thing, but if you tried to do that sort of parody of Marvel and DC, like in an actual film, there might be a few lawsuits floating around. What do you reckon?
I'd like to see the Incal made in a complete CGI environment, because it uses Jodorowsky's ideas and Mobius's designs, and they were the Incal. The Incal was it ran on Heavy Metal, magazine back in the late 70s, in the early 80s. Yeah. Actually have the Humanoids USA reprints. Came out in Portuguese many years ago, and it's been out of print for a while. I'd like to have the French edition maybe, because the Incal is what they came up with it's like in the year 70,000 or something, and humanity is no longer on Earth, but it's everywhere else. When they mention Earth, they call it Paleo Earth. They all live in cities which are miles high. And it's kind of the city is kind of Blade Runner on LSD, but then it's run by what if the Spanish Inquisition from Monty Python were actually evil and competent.
So they're putting everyone in comfy chairs and poking them with soft cushions.
No. This time they are competent and actually evil. Right. And in the meantime, Sam Spade has to deal with the Maltese Falcon in the future with the Spanish Inquisition.
That Spanish Inquisition reminds me of the 2000 AD story Nemesis. Do you ever read Nemesis?
Yeah. Oh, I love Nemesis.
Torquemada. That was like basically Earth would like an inquisition against aliens. So anything that was alien, they would try and wipe it out. So they was doing like wars with other planets to wipe out the alien threat. Yeah. That would make a good movie, I reckon. That'd be a good movie.
Or even a TV series. Yeah.
Yeah. And someone said Judge Dredd. Disney liked the last Judge Dredd movie. I thought that was really good. Enjoyed that last Judge Dredd movie.
It's the only thing from 2008 that I have zero interest in. Maybe because because everybody's always talking about it.
I'd like to see Strontium Dog as well from 2000 AD. Someone made a fan movie of that, and that would be pretty easy. That's like a bounty hunters in space. It's like mutant bounty hunters in space. So you could make it as sci-fi or as low key as you wanted to. You could I think it'd be better actually as a TV show. So on one week you could have it on a desert planet. You know, you wouldn't have to have spaceships and stuff necessarily heavily in it. You could just make it a little more low budget kind of thing. As long as you've got like his special weapons and stuff.
I used to buy Robbie Morrison's Nikolai Dante. It's like an Errol Flynn type rogue, but it's the 20th century. But everybody's a monarchy, and you go out in space, but everybody behaves like you're in the 16th century. And he gets involved in the dispute between the two Russian royal houses.
Yeah, I've heard this character, but I've never read him much, to be honest.
Because he's the illegitimate son of one of them. His tagline is "I'm too cool to kill."
Right. Some of that kind of like mixture of history with like sci-fi, like the steampunk and that kind of thing, can be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think if it was made by the Game of Thrones guys, it could work.
There was a steampunk kind of like sci-fi movie a few years ago. I can't remember what it was called now. But I thought it was really quite good, but it never got any. There was no remake, no second one or anything like that. I can't remember what it was called now. And that other one completely failed, didn't it? That the one where all the cities are like giant machines. What was that one? Something engines or something. Did you see that?
Mortal Engines or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I still haven't seen that one. I wanted to go see it because London's the bad guy. It's like, go on, London. Usurp all these people, grind them under your streets and that kind of thing.
So Dark City was pretty steampunk, as I recall. It's been a while. Was that Terry Gilliam did that? I can't remember. I think so. Something like that.
The name rings a bell.
Had Kiefer Sutherland in it, I believe. And
I think I went to pictures to see it, but don't ask me to give you a synopsis because I've completely forgotten about it.
I don't know, I'd like to see an Archangel movie. I want to see a movie about the creation of Angel or the transformation of Angel to Archangel, because he's such a, like, not so much an anti-hero, but he walks the fine line of villain and hero at this point, you know, because his wings thirst for blood and all that. I think it's kind of an interesting dynamic, how he's robbed of his mutant wings and then given the artificial wings by Apocalypse. I think he could be a really cool movie character.
You have to introduce a lot of stuff into that to make that movie, though, wouldn't you?
You could just do flashback sequences, right? That's what they always do.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing the Demon Etrigan. That'd be quite cool.
Although I wouldn't base it on the original Kirby series. I'd probably base it on the Matt Wagner series from the 80s.
Right.
Because it's short. And
4-part, wasn't it? 4-part, I want it, that one.
4-part, yeah.
Yeah. Not read it for a while, that series, but I like the 90s one because it had comedy in it. It's so funny.
You know, another steampunk movie was 12 Monkeys. That was very steampunk. At least the future scenes were a lot of tubes and big gears and all that were floating around. I forgot about that.
Yeah, already said I'd like to see a Flash Gordon series. There was a Sci-Fi Channel Flash Gordon series like a decade ago.
Didn't get nowhere, did it?
No. They were trying to downplay all the cool elements, like they make them all realistic. And instead of having Birdman, the bird would be like their totem, and they would be. It was a bit too dark for what you expect out of Flash Gordon, and it was also too low budget. And you knew it was because of the low budget that they came up with those ideas to have the totem identities.
Did Queen do the soundtrack for that one too, or
no?
That's why
I was watching the original TV series. I got it on DVD, and they had Sharkmen as well. I think that's one I didn't remember. They had Sharkmen. It was just a few blokes swimming around in a pool kind of thing, and they're on black and white. And there's some kind of lion bloke as well. I can't remember now, but yeah, they were quite funny.
And Matt Rock said he'd like a Dreadstar movie. The thing with a Dreadstar movie is that nowadays it probably look too much like Star Wars, because it has a lot of similar, not completely.
I never read that much. I remember he had a funny sword. It was like half sword with a little bit of an axe coming off it. But that was him, wasn't it? Dreadstar.
Yeah. Okay. And they have to tear down the Empire.
They should revamp Lone Star and make him a live action video out of the cartoon days from the 80s. Oh no, Brave Star, not Lone Star. Brave Star.
Oh, Brave Star, yeah.
I couldn't think of that. I
remember the cartoon.
I don't remember that.
That was an interesting one. You like this one, Gray? It's a Native American guy. He's like a lawman on another planet. Okay. And he's got like 4 different powers, like ears of the wolf, eyes of the eagle, and strength of the bear, and all that stuff. It was kind of like a fun one.
And his horse is a cyborg.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
That's interesting. I remember there was one called Crystar. I'm not too sure that was about even.
Crystar was kind of Marvel's response to Amethyst, and everybody was made of crystals.
All right. Did it need a response? Was Amethyst that good of a title that it needed a response?
No, but Amethyst was good. But I'm not.
I just saw Amethyst. Well, that's for girls. I'm not reading that. It's a girl comic. Yeah, Ranger. Who's saying anything? Ming was a female. I don't think Ming was a female in any of the.
No, Ming was a white guy.
Princess Aurora.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Ming the Merciless from the old serials.
Yeah, but Ming in the sci-fi TV series, Ming was a white guy.
Right.
Yeah, and he was just dressed like a regular despot in a black suit.
He's basically just space Fu Manchu, Ming the Merciless, isn't he? They all the Yellow Claw, Ming the Merciless. They all kind of like just iterations of Fu Manchu.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea behind it was exactly that, because Flash Gordon took a lot of stuff from the Buck Rogers comic strip, and the enemies in Buck Rogers were precisely the Chinese. In the future, the Chinese would become extremely powerful nation, and they would conquer the United States.
That might still come true.
Yeah, and you don't need to get, and it doesn't have to be in the 25th century.
Yeah, scary stuff. Overee's most saying make an anthology style comic of the heavy metal comic series. I never really read many of them. All I remember, you got a lot more TNA in them than you got in any other comic books. That's the only thing I can remember about them. Yeah, there was some barbarian guy, a bald barbarian guy that used to roam around with his wang out, and random women would want to shag him. That's all. I can't remember what he was called, but
let me guess. That one was a Richard Corbin story.
I've no idea. I've no idea.
It looks like the type of thing that Corbin would do.
Okay, I don't know that guy, but yeah, there was a lot of boobs. It was like, oh, there's a little kid. Oh, it's got boobs. I was more interested in the boobs and the stories in that time.
Too bad Gore Vidal isn't here anymore, because he used to buy heavy metal off the newsstand when he was like 10 years old, because they didn't know it had boobs.
Yeah, lots of boobs. Anyway. Yeah,
then by Richard Corbin.
Right. I was saying Ming was a woman. I was thinking of, did you ever watch that? I think it was from Hong Kong or something. A series called Monkey. Did you ever have that over in Portugal?
No.
It was like based on the mythology, or I think it was based on the Buddha's journey to pick up some tablets or scriptures or something like that. And it was quite an interesting bit of martial arts in there. This is around the time I'm about 6 years old, and all the kids in the school go, "Oh, did you watch Monkey last night? It was so good!" And like jumping around pretending to do martial arts fights, because the priest in that was a woman, played the priest for some reason. That's what it just reminded me when he was talking about Ming being a woman.
Richard Celeste has a. Crestar actually came out before Amethyst, so yeah, I suppose I got my chronology crossed. But yeah, because Amethyst is interesting and Crestar looks like a knockoff.
Right.
But Crestar was created as a toy line, but unlike the other toy line comics, it was actually owned by Marvel.
Right. I'm surprised. I never heard of Crystar as a toy. I see a lot of the toys that made it into comic books didn't make it over here. Like Crystar, I never saw as a toy. Rom, I knew was supposed to be a toy, but I never saw a single Rom toy over in the UK. But
because Rom barely lasted past its initial introduction, even in the United States.
Fair enough. Micronauts. I used to have some Micronauts, but that's about it.
And Micronauts never got here. I think we only started getting toy lines with an extensive number of models around 86, 87, because even G.I. Joe got here first as Action Force. The first G.I. Joe releases were still labeled Action Force, so they probably came from the UK. Right. He-Man was around that time as well. When we had very limited, I had a couple of those mini catalogs with all the stuff that you could get, but you'd be hard pressed to find even half of them. You could buy the Castle Grayskull if you wanted, but half of the characters they were not available.
Yeah, but He-Man didn't do a great lot in the comic books, though, did he? I forget, a 4-part or something like that, and appeared in like DC Comics Presents with Superman. But I don't remember him having a long run or anything like that.
Yeah.
So did he have
Marvel had a 12-issue series, and after that, the Brazilians started having to make up their own stories.
Oh, right. So they kept going in Brazil, did it?
Yeah, up to issue 20 something. You notice because the artist was different from the Marvel style, but the guy ended up working for Marvel in the 90s as part of the Deodato studio. It was called Mark Campos.
Okay.
He-Man should have been an easy property to work on because you got so many characters you could do stuff with, you know?
Yeah.
You can talk about Man of War's old days fighting in the army or whatever, you know what I mean? There's so many things to do, you know, Battle Cat as a kitten, that sort of thing.
I collected quite a lot of the Masters of the Universe. I had a ton of them. But when the cartoon started, because I already had the toys and I had my own story for everybody, when the cartoon came along, I was just like, this isn't how I do it. This is rubbish. You know, this is not how I envisage it. So, like, that stuff, screw that stuff. I've got my own story. That was kind of how I went with Masters of the Universe.
I got a Skeletor sketch over there from the original one of the episodes. It came in a loot crate. It was kind of cool.
Cool.
And I remember I used to have a couple of promo comics from the He-Man reboot around 1991 when he stopped being so muscle bound and he went to the future, because they also made a cartoon of that, and it wasn't it wasn't as good. It was full of humor.
Yeah, like so was the other the original cartoon. That was it, Akko or Urko, whatever his name was.
Orko. Mm-hmm.
Orko, yeah.
Orko.
Yeah, but Orko was there to be the comic relief.
Yeah.
In the New Adventures of He-Man, even all the bad guys were kind of stupid, and Skeletor was pretending to work for them instead of taking over. Because in the promo comic, he immediately meets the new villains, and he says, "I'm in charge now, and if you don't do what I say, I'll kill you." To exemplify, let me seriously hurt you. The guy was in charge. He became his second in command. But in the cartoon, he was pretending to work, and they had Skeletor do one-liners and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I think they should go back to all the classic comics and kill the comic relief. Get rid of the comic relief characters from all the classic cartoons and bring them out again. Sans stupid comic relief. Moral at the end.
Have you guys seen Hulk versus? It's a two-parter thing. I think you can still see it on Netflix, but it was a two-parter cartoon series, and the first one was like Hulk versus Thor. The second one was Hulk versus Wolverine and Omega Red and some other people. Those are pretty good. They're real serious, extremely violent, and kind of more adult-oriented, kind of like Death of Superman kind of vibe to them. Those are kind of cool. So
I don't think I've seen them. I'm not sure.
Even the Planet Hulk cartoon wasn't too bad. It was.
I think I saw that one, possibly on Prime or something like that. Yeah.
Hulk takes no prisoners now, and he kills several people. Well, beings anyway. So.
Planet Hulk. The He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren was terrible. That movie needs a reboot. Didn't it get remade recently? The Masters of the Universe. I thought it had just been remade recently, or they were talking about remaking. Did it not go ahead recently? Oh,
for live action,
one of those ones. Yeah, I thought there had been a live action one. They were talking about it, or we were talking about Conan as well. What happened to? They was doing a King Conan movie at one point. Did that get knocked on the head?
I've been hearing about that for a while, though.
Yeah,
they've been talking about that for over 10 years.
Yeah, and they want Arnold to come back to do it.
Yeah, I think he wanted to do it. I thought I heard that he wanted to do it.
I mean, they even allude to it in the first movie, but yeah, that's a big thing. Later on in Conan's stories, he winds up being a king. Was it not Aquilonia or where was it? I can't remember where he was king. Yeah. So yeah, it would make sense. Arnold's older now, but the thing is, Conan's still a fighting king. So like all the stories where Conan's a king, he's still on the front lines of all the battles that go on. So I'm not sure if Arnold can pull that off anymore. So
he needs to come back and trample some cities under his sandaled feet. That's what he needs to do. Just because he's like some sand castles and he just stamps on them with his sandals on.
They could probably, if they were bringing Conan back, they should try to adapt the actual stories. Can you imagine the Tower of the Elephant as a film?
That was a cool one because it was like basically a captured god that was strapped in this tower, and he had gems for eyes. The guy was torturing him for like millennia. The sorcerer keeping him alive, and really, really cool story. Actually, Conan has to wind up killing this gigantic or this old demon or god thing. And
that's another one that would be awesome as a TV show, Conan TV show, like done like the comic books with like episodic stories going on. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, they were so and so. I mean, it was for TV, so.
Here's the problem, and like I hope I don't offend anybody out there, but this is not the good climate to make Conan stories nowadays. It can't work. Conan is not PC in the slightest, and you have to go through that filter to get anything made any day. So I'd rather not even see it if they're going to water the character down so much that he wouldn't be recognizable.
Maybe if they did a European co-production.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, Game of Thrones that got made, and you think about the subject matter in that showing historically how cruel people could be to each other, and there was plenty of sex in there as well, and probably misogyny, I should think.
I might be the only human that's never seen a Game of Thrones episode, so.
Good work.
I still have to read the books. They're all there on the bookshelf.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather read them than probably watch them, but.
Yeah,
Speaking of books of George R.R. Martin, how about a Wild Cards TV series? Wild Cards was a series of novels which were anthologies, and him and his science fiction writer buddies, they had an RPG going where they came up with the characters themselves, and they started losing ideas for books, and until they figured out, why don't we just write our characters, and we do this series, and we call it Wild Cards. And among the contributors, Roger Zelazny was one.
I think I might have heard of that. It sounds slightly familiar.
Yeah, and Neil Gaiman once proposed to creating a character who went into people's dreams.
Okay.
But and George R.R. Martin told him no. So he went to the
there was a Conan TV show. Did anyone know there was a Conan TV show?
Yeah, about 15 years ago, I think. Maybe 20.
Okay.
They had a German bodybuilder play
Ralph Moller. According to Over Easy, I remember that. I suppose it's probably toned down, so it's more like Hercules or Xena or something like that.
Yeah. But you know, Hercules and Xena were more whimsical, and they had better quality special effects. Conan was just the guys running around the countryside and fighting guys in rubber suits. Or
the Great Turtle.
Yeah, see, and that's the other thing too, is Conan just can't be realized too well with modern audiences because Conan is not nice. Look, every time he gets power, he does it by killing those in front of him. Basically, he infiltrates groups and he just becomes their leader through sheer violence and all that. Like he goes out and he's a thief. You know, he starts out as a thief and he goes out and he robs ships for years too as a pirate. So he's not a nice character. So a lot of people, it's hard to get behind him for some, I think, more modern audiences, you know, that aren't used to the anti-hero kind of trope.
Yeah, that's he did in Queen of the Black Coast. Should we kill you? No, you try to kill me, that will kill many of you. And he kills a lot of people on the boat. And Belitz goes, okay, instead of killing you, I'm going to have sex with you a lot of times.
And he becomes the pirate king with her, you know, and they pillage villages up the coast and all that. So yeah.
And then there's the stories that are set in what's supposed to be Afghanistan. When he also becomes chief of a group of Afghani warriors. He always goes somewhere, and he becomes chief, or he kills them all. And he always goes to bed with one of the chief's daughters.
Well, if you can get away with that kind of thing, why not?
That would be an amazing crossover: Conan and James T. Kirk.
Oh, look, you get a super chat. Look at that.
Hey.
Conan and James T. Kirk. Who would get the ladies though? Yeah, he'd have to kill Jim.
Oh yeah!
Look at that!
Woo! Everyone got a klaxon I can sound.
Is that 2 pounds? Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah. That's
so you can buy a pack of Bensons.
That's my super chat virginity has gone there. I need a cigarette.
For 2 pounds? That was cheap. They got your virginity for 2 pounds.
Well, it's my first super chat. Thanks, Dino. I was just saying earlier on that I'm going to possibly go to the comic shop, get some 50p bargain bins so I can come on your stream next time you do your £10 shopping challenge. So I'll let you know let me know when the next one is, and I'll try and come on if I'm allowed.
Actually, you know what? I lied. You got a £1.40, didn't you? So
probably there's something off, but that's more than I made in 3 days on through adverts.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. You wait. The tumults of money will come in soon. I'm sure it's going to be like an avalanche. That's like set it off kind of thing.
Yeah. So you need to do more 3-hour streams.
Yeah.
You have to make the money. That's £2 more than I've ever made on YouTube. So don't feel bad.
No.
And I got like 700 videos or something like that.
That's cool. It's good. I'm happy. Dear, I might have a drink now. Might have a go, get a couple of beers and completely blow that money. And like, where was we? Do you want to come on, Dino? Do you want the link? If anyone's not bored yet and wants to bugger off, we've still got 12 people in. I suppose there was people here.
Yeah. We're not completely boring.
It fell down to like 5 or 6 for a while.
Actually, that's the wrong link. I just put that up.
Was that when I left?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
they all went when you went. That was the link for collecting chaos. Everyone sub up collecting chaos if you're not sub to him already.
He was 100 last time I looked. Now I was the 100.
Yeah, trying to get him way over 100 if we can. And that's the stream link. If anyone that we know and trust wants to come in, nobody come in and flash your willies or anything like that. Apparently that does happen. But only do that if Matilda's here because she'll enjoy that. But otherwise, don't do that kind of thing. Anyway, where was we? What's the
crossover between Conan and James T. Kirk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, blimey.
Set phases on kill, I think I'd call it, or something.
Or they could just go for a beer and see which one of them can bang more alien chicks.
Yeah.
Green
Conan's not
chicks.
too discerning, and we know about James, so.
All right, let's have a poll. The chat as well. What's your favorite coloured alien chick? What's which colour would you? Green chicks, orange chicks. Which ones? There's plenty of different coloured alien and lost civilization birds out there. Which is your favourites?
Listen, Starfire is orange and she looks great.
Yeah, Starfire is quite a good one. I do like Starfire.
And you guys ever watch Farscape?
Nope.
Possibly an episode or two. I can't remember.
There's a blue like priestess in there. She's completely blue with like yellow eyes. She's pretty fine.
Ooh, a priestess.
Mm-hmm.
Green. Comic Book Fever likes green chicks. She-Hulk.
Kind of languid movements and all that. So it's very enticing. She's bald though. You have to get over that. So
bald, yeah. That's different, exotic.
Yeah, I know. Kind of like that. What was her name in the first Star Trek movie? I can't remember. The one that V'ger takes over, but she was bald too.
I don't remember.
She still was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, I think they modeled her after Moondragon.
Yeah. Moondragon, some of the biggest cans in the friggin' comic book industry. She's always been drawn as very ample in the front.
There's a kind of Moondragon prototype in Savage Tales #1. It was drawn by John Romita. She kind of looks. The character kind of looks like Moondragon, but she's not. And I'm not sure if Mike Friedrich and Jim Starlin came up with the character independently.
Like Covergent Evolution right there in comics. That could be interesting.
Fair enough.
Dragon. I don't remember her too much. I think she popped into the Avengers books a couple times.
Psychic power, isn't she? Psychic power. She was in Defenders as well for a while, wasn't she? And,
yeah.
Kind of like half the time she spends as being a villain, doesn't she? She's kind of like, is she a villain or is she a good? She can try and push her weight around a bit, can't she?
Yeah, because she thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread, and she should be in charge of everything. And she's a genius, and she's the most powerful, and everyone should bow down to her ideas. And because of that, she gets taken over by a cosmic being called the Dragon of the Moon. It makes her do even nastier stuff.
Isn't she a Titan? Isn't she? Is she a Titan?
She's Drax's daughter. Mm-hmm. She's a human. She's taught her mental powers in Titan, and that but considering that she's a human who learns how to use mental powers, and all the Titans are actually cosmic powered gods, she ought to be more. She ought to be a bit more grounded,
more humble.
Yeah, definitely.
Comic Book Fee was asking an important question: is Moondragon as endowed as Power Girl?
No, but she has a very natural curves.
These are the important questions that people would need to know.
Well, I remember I can remember she was in it, but Marvel used to do the swimsuit edition every now and then back in the day, and I seen her like Scarlet Witch would always be on there, and a few of the other more famously endowed female characters in the series. There, I want to say Moondragon was on it, but I can't remember. Her baldness might have kept her off. I can't remember.
There was an Avengers mini series around 1999-2000, written by Roger Stern, Avengers Infinitors or something like that, and Tigra and Moondragon are both there, and Moondragon has a normal costume, and Tigra doesn't like her very much because she was there the first time Moondragon went nuts. She walks up to her and says, "How are you? Hey, used to show more cleavage than Jennifer Lopez. Is gravity taking its toll?"
Claws are definitely out. Don't mention Tigra around Grey. Paulo. Don't do it.
Yeah, I do like a bit of Tigra. Yeah, she's I'd rub myself in catnip and take my chances.
He says that was the one character in comics he wanted to spend the entire pandemic with, basically. You can pet her like a cat and then treat her like a woman.
Give her a saucer of milk and a few dreamies or whatever. She'd be happy.
I don't know, man. Hairy women.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's strange. Mantis in the comics is sexy and seductive, says Over Easy Mode.
Yeah, but
what I was going to say now. Something in my bloody.
She's too weird.
Yeah, she's got a little antennae on her head, hasn't she?
Yeah, and she refers to herself as this one.
This one.
I always liked Silver Sable in the comics. She had kind of a cold-hearted sensuality about her. She was always kind of cool, kind of dominatrix and waiting kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. There was it was only a short story, but it was fun. And it even had Rob Liefeld art. In Marvel Comics Presents, an 8-pager, Silver Sable and Black Widow are going after the same guy, and they fight each other, and the guy falls off of the Eiffel Tower, and then again, whoops! Looks like none of us is getting him. So dinner.
Dear me. Oh man, something I was going to say, and I hate you. I did. Old brain. Something I was going to say. A big question, and I completely lost it now. Can't remember it at all. Can't remember what it was about, or vaguely what we were talking about when it popped into my head. Never mind. If it comes back to me, I'll write it down and start a stream of it next time or something. Bugging me though. I don't know. Anyway, anyone buying any comics? Anyone got anything on their to buy list that they want to pick up soon? Maybe we can go on to that.
The only comics I buy are for Creators Notes. So
yeah, you don't really buy much. Do you buy anything now? Do you?
No.
So you're kind of like an old in your past comics in your past kind of.
That's about it. So nostalgic comics. I don't buy anything new. So
I still need to buy the Atlantis Chronicles trade paperback because it's kind of a prequel to Peter David's Aquaman, because Peter David is telling the story of Atlantis from its origins up to Aquaman's time, and it's actually good because I've read it, and I'd like to have a 300-page book with all the story in it. But I probably need to order it because the shops here don't have it. They never had it.
Yeah, you like the big trays, don't you? The omnibuses and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have the space to to even store them. I don't think. So, never mind. So do you collect anything, Gino? You collecting? Are you just buying stuff to do your channel with? And
basically, here's the problem. I'm a hopeless collector of things, so it's best that I stay away from getting into anything new. And when I finally stop collecting something, it's best to stay away from that as much as possible because I tend to just collect everything. It can be power tools. It does not matter. Once the bug hits me, it's pretty hard to stop sometimes. So I've made it a point not to try to collect anything that I don't need for the channel because I don't need anything else in the house either. So.
How was your bucket garden? Was it a bucket garden? Some kind of garden you were doing?
Yep. My hanging bucket garden is doing well. I got tomatoes coming up like crazy. Peppers come up like crazy. Cucumbers are kind of so-so, but so this should be. I need to do another video on it, but yeah, I'll probably be harvesting in about 2 weeks, so give or take tomatoes and things.
You haven't done any road trips on your motorbike lately either? Are you kind of veering away from that?
The motorcycle is down. I need to do some work on the master cylinder. The front brakes locked up on me, and the parts are very expensive, so I'm saving up for a roof for the house right now. So it's kind of on the back burner. And plus, it's so hot this time of year. I don't like to ride right now anyway. So, no.
What's your bike?
Right now.
What's your bike?
I have a '99 Harley Davidson Ultra Classic. So
okay.
Big bagger. So I took a big trip with it last year, and would like to do it again this year. But like I said, I got to fix that brake problem. So Harley parts are expensive.
And the brakes are quite necessary as well.
Quite necessary.
Yeah. They come in handy for things like stopping and changing speed and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I miss doing my motor vlogs, though. Those are fun.
Do you never feel about doing anything to do, because you like write about motor sports and stuff? You never thought about doing anything to do with that on your channel, like reviews of like events and stuff, Paolo?
No. The biggest problem is that I'd have to get the rights to show footage.
Yeah, well, even
from the
is there no Creative Commons or whatever they call it? They have been keeping fair usage or anything like that?
There is some, but it's complicated. And
Or you could not use like articles, reading off articles, and giving your own perspective on it.
I can use photographs, but then it's better for written stuff than for videos.
Which motorsports do you cover?
I used to work for a Portuguese magazine called Autosport. It has the same name as a British one, but we weren't related. And I left 3 years ago. And I used to cover anything on track that was not Formula One. And I insisted that we needed to cover a couple of American racing events like IndyCar and NASCAR. So I always had a short space for that. The main championships that I covered were the DTM, which is a championship. It's like the German version of NASCAR, but the cars are Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. The various European GT championships, the World Endurance Championship with sports prototypes, the World Touring Car Championship, which is with 400 horsepower versions of hatchbacks. And the Formula Championships with the guys wanting to get to Formula One, like Formula 2 and 3.
I mean, because you see a lot of different like channels on YouTube, like to do with sports, like MMA, football channels, and stuff like that. Is it not something you would? I mean, I'm assuming there are motorsport channels. I would assume.
Sometimes the guy, there are a couple of guys that want to do. They want to talk about what's going on in Formula One or NASCAR, which are the only ones that people want to care about. But since I am no longer interested in Formula One and NASCAR is already too crowded, what I'd really like to on Facebook, I'm in some Facebook groups where we usually talk about the past events, like in the 60s and 70s, especially with endurance racing. People like the good old cars from the good old days in tracks that the tracks were long, they were dangerous, and that's what people liked about those, even when drivers died.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't want the drivers to die, but
no,
we understand them as
talk about, I suppose, and like it adds an element of danger to it, and kind of feels more, I don't know, gritty or something. The fact that it's a lot more dangerous nowadays. Probably it's a little bit more sterile because it's so safe and there's so many rules to sort of.
Yeah, and still sometimes things happen. There was a major crash in the Formula 3 Macau Grand Prix 3 years ago. A car went completely airborne in a way that nobody ever thought about it. Last year there was a crash in the Formula 2 race in Belgium, where when it went off the track, the car went back on the road in the fastest part of the circuit, and another one collided from the side. The other guy broke his neck on the impact, and the guy who crashed against him was on life support for a few weeks. The last guy to die in Formula One was Jules Bianchi. He was on his way to Ferrari. He was on life support for 9 months, and then he died. There was no recovery possible.
Wow. Well,
so you still get unfortunately you still get crashes even with all the.
Did Michael Schumacher ever get better? Because he had an accident skiing, didn't he? Is he still like bad? Is he paralyzed or something?
He suffered neurological damage, and he's awake and he recognizes people, but he can't function normally. His son is currently on the Ferrari junior team and is racing in the Formula 2 championship.
All right. That's crazy to have like such a long career in motor racing and then to damage yourself going skiing.
Yeah, happens.
Yeah.
There was a guy called Didier Pironi. He had a crash in '82, who became paralyzed, went racing powerboats, and he died in '88 driving one, racing a powerboat. There are a few guys who died in road accidents, and it wasn't their fault, but they died in road accidents.
Stock cars. Eric's talking about stock car racing.
The cars in NASCAR, they're called stock, but they have no stock parts in them.
There's nothing stock about them. They have the name, they have the nameplate. It says Lumen and stuff, all that in the back. But I remember we lost about 3 guys in 1 year or year and a half back in NASCAR days, a long time ago. But I don't really follow it anymore. So
the only motorsport I followed was Speedway. I used to watch a lot of Speedway which is motorbike racing.
Yeah, I used to watch AMA stuff, but
yeah,
back in the Duhamel days and all that, back when there were legends among men riding around those circuits. Ducati won every race basically, and
so those are long, like 50, 60 lap ones, isn't it? Is it that motorbike one?
They go on for a while.
Yeah, because Speedway is like 4 laps, and it says 16, 17, whatever, so many heats. Yeah, so you'd have a new race every like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, they're dirt ovals. The guy who used to run the Yamaha Moto Grand Prix team, Kenny Roberts Sr., came from there, from Speedway. We have a round of the World Superbike Championship in Portugal. Superbikes, sometimes it goes up in popularity, but it can never match Moto Grand Prix.
No.
We have a Portuguese rider in Moto Grand Prix now, Miguel Oliveira. He races for KTM.
I always enjoyed it more than car racing, but I rode motorcycles too, so so I always liked it better. But
you know that KTM is a racing car?
Yeah, and they're actually kind of big over here again, even in motorcycles. But I've never seen the racing car, but I've heard that they had some.
Yeah, the racing car uses a Volkswagen Golf GTI engine. But there's a class for it. It's called GT4, and in America it races, and it used to be called Speed World Challenge, but now it's just called GT World Challenge because it was bought by a French guy a couple of years ago.
KTM is weird. They always have these weird cubic measurements and all that. And their displacements are always usually a little bit different than all the competitions. Very, very strange outfit. But
you've lost me, guys. You lost me.
Yeah. Now we see. This is how normal people feel when we talk about comic books, and this is you now when you hear us talking about engines.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to put an end to it actually, because my missus phones me about 7:00, which is like 20 minutes away. So sometimes she rings me a bit early. So I'll best be ready for her. Don't want to get told off.
Okay.
Well,
so cheers for coming on board. Cheers for 3.5 hours, over 3.5 hours, and and I barely had to talk at all because you two do everything. So cheers.
Bye.
And we'll do it again someday, maybe. Cheerio.
Big fun.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Talk to you soon. Right, let's end this. Oh, another button. There's 2 buttons to end it. I have to remember that.